commentary, and in our special comment seat today, two fantastic gentlemen, great contributors to the media team. Firstly, Brett Beston, welcome.
There you go. Radio 101, turn the microphone on. It's great to be here, and it looks like the weather's, I don't want to speak too soon, but it looks like it's cleared as well, so it's got a bit of sun around, and hopefully the ground not too slippery on top. Looking forward to a good game today.
And coaching extraordinaire Brett Davison joins us. G'day, Davo.
Good afternoon, Damo. Really looking forward to this game, and bit hard to pick, to be honest. Both sides have got lots of positives, but I think the big call that was just made about the fact that Talevski's out is a huge call in the context of the game, and it's probably going to swing a few people around from changing their thoughts. So I probably will be one of them, and probably am going to lean towards Lilydale now that he's out.
Yes, it certainly is a big out. Of course, a reminder, Kit Talevski is out, 64 goals for the season, including a big bag last week. So he certainly is a big exclusion from the side due to a persistent back injury. Grant Soupy Campbell will be joining us for the Choose Tap match stats for this Choose Tap semi-final. And Soupy, what are you seeing in this game today?
Well, I think that big out is going to be the big talking point. Who can replace his goals? Because if they can't find someone, then it's hard to see them kicking a winning score. Maybe the wet weather will help because he's missing. You might only have to kick about 8 goals today to win.
But he's a big body, though. That's the thing.
He is. You need that target as well. Looking at the stats that Brash has produced, Lilydale 45.5 quarters won this year. Mooroolbark 37.5. Lilydale, the better defensive record, ranked number 3, Mooroolbark number 6. So Lilydale already have a bit of an edge there, and they've scored more points as well. So I was sort of 50-50, maybe leaning towards Lilydale, but after the big out, I'm going Lilydale today. Probably only 2 or 3 goals because of the wet conditions.
Fair enough. Ben Warren-Smith joins me now in BWS. Two sides evenly matched, probably more even now that Talevski's out.
Well, I'm expecting an absolute cracker out here today. There's no doubt about that. And I did pick Mooroolbark. That's in the record.
You're going to change that?
I think it's unfair to change it. I think Mooroolbark's best footy is probably stronger than Lilydale's best footy, but it's whether Mooroolbark are going to bring their A game out here today. An experienced side, an experienced coached side as well. So I think Mooroolbark are ready for this one. Of course, Lilydale, they've had a fantastic season. Their best footy is also brilliant as well. Let's hope both teams can put that out on the park today. The rain has gone. The blue skies are behind us. So I think that is all done and dusted for this afternoon. And just can't wait for this huge clash. Who will take on Doncaster East next Saturday afternoon out at this very venue? It's going to be a very, very interesting and fun 2 hours of football ahead, Damo.
That's the big question indeed, and conditions are going to be a big factor this afternoon. And joining us at boundary side, Tim Fitzsimons and Ray Baird, the wispy one, is down at ground level.
We might just go. We just can't hear Tim at the moment, so I think we might got you now, Tim. Go for it, mate.
Yeah, it was looking a bit bleak for a boundary rider before.
Nothing's happening there. It's well, he's not there, so let's continue on.
Well, it's certainly going to be an interesting matchup, that's for sure. As I mentioned, in the 2 home and away games where these two sides have met, there have been very contrasting results. One side has dominated. Lilydale won the first game very convincingly, and the roles will reverse when they met in the middle of the season, which we covered here on EFL Game Day. So there is that contrasting result, and that's what makes the tip so hard to pick. Let's head boundary side now. We finally got Tim Fitzsimons and Ray Baird.
Yeah, it was looking like a bit of a bleak afternoon for a boundary rider, that's for sure. It was pissing down with rain earlier, but now... shouldn't say that. But it is sunny, no, barely any clouds around now. It looks like it's going to be blue skies all afternoon, about 12 degrees, not much wind about. And Ray, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I was out here yesterday, boys, and the ground was very firm, but it's a very spongy and very wet here on the wing on this side of the ground.
Did everyone see Ray's red carpet treatment in his car just going through the crowd only about 10 minutes ago?
Waving like the Queen?
Unbelievable. It was like the Prime Minister was here.
Mate, same old. Late call up. Who comes forward?
Here we go, Damo.
Underway in this knockout final, semi-final action between Lilydale and Mooroolbark in the Choose Tap Division 2 final series. And out of the centre bounce, it looks as if we'll have a secondary ball up with Belly at the bottom of the pack for the Mustangs. So we're back and set in motion once again. Tap one at the back for the Mustangs by Atkinson. Falls to ground level, and again we'll have a stalemate. It's going to be a very physical encounter this afternoon, particularly in the scrimmages. Just a reminder, Mooroolbark winning the last time these two sides met to the tune of 5 to 6 goals, and the Mustangs win the clearance through James McManus, who was best on ground that day. Kicks towards the right half forward flank. Giorgio is going to be a big target goal scoring wise today. Gives the hand pass off. Quick kick inside the 50 in the Jordan direction. Couldn't take it on the ground level. Harvey comes through. That's at the Ryan variety.
What a great tackle.
And a good tackle affected. We'll have a bounce 50 out from the Mustangs goal. So the sun out here at Tormore Reserve. Tap one again for the Mustangs. Falls to ground level. Hand pass comes out. Trying to weed his way through is Preston for the Falcons. Still the Mustangs try and maintain possession inside their 50. A higher tackle. Free kick is going to be paid to Lilydale. And the recipient there looks as if it'll be Preston.
Grattan Stevens has gone to full forward for Mooroolbark, so he looks like he's the target instead of Talevski.
Big sticks in front of the sticks. Preston goes up towards the wing position now. Couldn't quite take the mark there. Was his teammate, but Mooroolbark, they had the answer. Little handball over the top. That was okay. Went through the legs there of Atkinson, but charging through there was Sutherland on the right boot. He goes short, and it was a good one too. Out in front and taking a strong mark there was Jordan Roth, and he'll have the first ping on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard for Mooroolbark. Kicking towards the club rooms ends out here, so not the Baronia Road end of the ground. Not the traditional scoring end of the ground as well, but Mooroolbark through Roth. Looks pretty confident in his approach. He'll come in now on the left. It was a sloppy kick and he's pushed it to the right-hand side. It was a bit of a helicopter punt style boot, and through it goes for a minor score. One behind to the Mooroolbark Football Club. That's their lead at the moment as we cross down to Ray Baird boundary side.
Yeah, look, the wind was blowing a gale out here yesterday, boys, but at the moment there's no advantage to either end.
Crowd starting to build up here. Plenty of room out here at Tormore Reserve, Damo.
Indeed, come along if you're in the area. Carswell looks towards the left half back flank. Went over the head of his intended target, Di Franceschi. We'll get the boys to get number 32 for Lilydale if they can, as Burnson moves it on the transition to left half forward for the Falcons, and they're looking dangerous. The lateral kick comes in towards the corridor, but it's all the Mustangs at ground level. Good tackle affected there by Hammond, and they force a stoppage. So in the thick of it there for Lilydale was Preston, and he was not going anywhere.
Got to be careful with the inside kick if you don't hit targets on this ground.
Ball 70 out from the Falcons goal. This is their first 4A4 for the game as Harvey streams forward onto the left foot, chips the pass to the left half forward flank, and a good mark has been taken by Sam Baker.
Nor would have beaten South Croydon in extra time in the reserves in Division 1.
Good result too as Baker chips short, and the mark taken by Ryan Harvey. He'll have the first true shot on goal for Lilydale, 45 out on an acute angle. So Ryan Harvey has been quite a contributor for Lilydale this season. It's going to be a tough shot, however. They trail by a point early on in this game. We'll be kicking from 45 metres out. A true test in finals pressure. It's not a bad effort, but it's just to the left and only a minor score. So both sides, a soccer score, one behind a piece, 4 minutes in on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
20 goals for Ryan Harvey so far this year, so pretty handy getting the ball between the big sticks, but not on that occasion.
Wasn't a soccer score for the Aussies the other night. That was disappointing, wasn't it? Sutherland will bring the ball back in for Muzabi. Great to see the sun out here. We're going to use the grandstand side as the kick goes up. The intended target there was cutting at the back there. Healy did well for Lilydale, but it was chopped off nicely there by Musa. Got the handball away, and now getting himself out of traffic there was Jordan. They go backwards to go forwards, using the wing position, getting down low and trapping the ball really well. There was Trent Giorgio. Handball goes back. This is okay here from Mooroolbark along the wing position. A big torpedo punt kick goes up towards the half-forward line through Jordan, but it stayed alive and stayed inside the paint, and over she goes for a boundary throw-in.
Not sure whether Giorgio's playing. He looks like he might be playing in the centre half forward position at the moment. So they've gone for a big forward line, Mooroolbark.
So Atkinson versus Mitchener. Giorgio looked like he might have been held off the football then, but came out Musa. Little scrambly kick up towards the half-forward line. The handball was good. McManus on the left. Can he put it through? He can't. He pushed it to the left-hand side, and through it goes for another minor score. Mooroolbark lead by 1 point. They are 2 behind, and Lilydale, one that's crossed down boundary side to Tim Fitzsimons.
Yeah, the ground's held up really well. You'd expect it to be pretty slippery, but it's actually not too bad. The sun's out. It's going to dry up even more. The skill level should be good for this one, I think.
Good start from Sean McManus, boys. He's had a lively beginning to the game.
He played a cracking game the last time that they played McManus.
Yeah, he did.
Set boundary side, Ray Baird.
Yeah, look, strangely enough, we've been playing 5.5 minutes, and Mooroolbark have only made one interchange, and Lilydale haven't made any.
Well, they're running hot at the moment, though, the Mustangs, as Musa takes the intercepting mark. 70 out from goal. Off a step on the right foot. Looks in the Stevens direction. Almost held it on the second bite. Giorgio was in the thick of the pack. He's claimed there by Harvey. Will have a bounce deep in the forward pocket for the Mustangs.
They tried to trick the umpire there. Sticks had the first go. Giorgio claimed the second.
You were never tricked as a goal umpire, were you, BWS?
Oh, I've only ever done it once, mate.
A lot of things can happen in one game. Breaking through is Healy with a looping hand pass over the top. The Falcons will move forward on the transition from centre half back. Healy gives the hand pass away, and they're off to the races. Chance now for Batty. Sends it towards centre half forward. Mark taken there by Morrison. Gets the hand pass away. They're stifled a little bit across centre half forward with Burnson at the thick of the pack, and the umpire's blown the whistle. Free kick for a push in the back. It's going the Mustangs' way, and they can settle the relieving tension with a lateral kick. Mark taken by James McManus. No, went through his hands. Uncharacteristic. Weaves around a couple of would-be tacklers. Did well. Good poise. It's the hand pass into the corridor, and Mooroolbark are away towards Giorgio at centre half.
Oh, nice mark.
That's classy.
Brush blazer contender, that's no doubt about that. Giorgio towards the Stevens direction. He was the fourth man in the back of the pack. Ball hits the deck. It's only 20 metres out from the Mooroolbark goal line. Trying to break through was Roth. He eventually got through, but the umpire called for a ball up. 20 metres out from goal. It's down Mooroolbark's end. 7 minutes into this first term, and the Mustangs, they lead by 1 point. Pye throws it up. Strong tackle there by Paddy Klepp, and he brings his opponent to ground, and we will have a bounce. Handing the ball back to the umpire, James Bally. 98.1 Radio Eastern all afternoon. Division 2 finals football at best time of the year as Lilydale try to work themselves out of that danger zone across that half back line. Charging at the football there was Max Ward, who was brought heavily to ground. A strong tackle there by Lilydale. Still after our boundary riders to find out number 32 for Lilydale. Don't like to ask a third time as it comes out. Horsley on the left boot. Bouncing football up towards the wing position. Out there, Morrison was there. Got a little toe poke on the football and over the boundary line it goes, but the umpires come in and paid a free kick. So I'm not too sure what that one was for. It might have been a kicking in danger type situation there. Batty over the back, trapped it for Lilydale. Kept the ball alive here, and now here come the Falcons on the right boot up towards the half-forward line. Bouncing football, looking for the intended target there in Preston. Move the ball onwards, the ball poking towards the forward line, and over she goes for a boundary throw-in.
The pace.
So boundary throw-in about 25 metres out from the Lilydale goal line. Damo?
I like that name, De Pace. Certainly a unique last name. So throw in deep in the forward pocket for Lilydale, trailing at the moment by a solitary point. What's been a low-scoring opening 10 minutes. Tap one by Morrison, falls to ground level, but it's all Mooroolbark at the drop, and they're on their last line of defence, almost got into trouble. Hand pass comes in the direction of Slattery, and the Mustangs work their running game forward. Quick kick towards Craig Smith, couldn't take it on the half volley, trying to barge his way through as Healy, falls to ground level. He's claimed as well as Hill, and also a boundary throw in as Del Biondo is gang tackled, and the umpire's blown the whistle here. It looks as if it's going to be a free kick, and no, it's going to be a bounce up, so players sort of dispersed in all directions, but it is a ball up. Tap one, Wiles at the fall of the ball for Lilydale is tackled. Got the hand pass out eventually in the direction of Hill. It's not coming out. It'll be a ball up, 70 out from the Falcons' goal. Batty was at the bottom of the pack.
Pretty tough football at the moment here in this first term. We've only gone 10 minutes. Little flick over the back there by Morrison. Ball hit the deck. Handball goes out. Lilydale just trying to work themselves out of that phone booth where Horsley got it away, and now McNay on the left boot drives the ball long. Drives the ball very long. Has it gone all the way? It certainly has. The first goal on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard to the Lilydale Football Club, Ryan McNay, and that is a contender for the Vibro goal of the day. A $50 deep tissue voucher down at the Croydon gym owned by Chrissy Goodlett. Fantastic stuff there by Lilydale.
They worked it really well out of that congestion here. They've been quite good through the middle. They're definitely playing through the middle. They've got a lot of good hands. They just haven't been able to finish it off with the last kick. That time they were able to. And it looks like, with looking at the flags, there is a bit of a breeze down that way.
So Lilydale with first blood on the scoreboard. It's taken 10 minutes. Tap one by Mitchiner, who's been very good all season for the Falcons, but only as far as Craig Smith, who sets the Mustangs off and running towards right half forward. At the back, a bit of a shove there from Hager. No free kick. The mark has been paid. On the left foot, goes and penetrates the kick to the top of the square. Still a chance here for the Mustangs. Loose ball, trying to drive his way through, weave his way out of trouble.
Oh, nice.
And Roth kicks the goal. Mooroolbark with the quick reply. They hit the front. 1-2-8, leading Lilydale 1-1-7. And that's a Vibro contender as well. They're coming in all directions. 11 minutes in on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Let's head to Grant Soupy Campbell with some Choose Tap match stats.
Inside 50, 7-3 in favour of Mooroolbark, so it was important they finally capitalised on one of those inside 50 entries.
Great fight back by Mooroolbark there, and they look a lot better running off half-back too. They'll have a lot more pace across there, and they transfer the ball very, very nicely there, and that's a great goal.
So a quick answer. It's nice and close. That's how we're hoping it will stay. We'll give that knockdown that time to Mitchiner for Lilydale. Soupy. Ball still in the middle of the ground. Picked up the football there was Class Henry. Went after it again, got the handball back, and now Lilydale slams it on the boot. Inside forward 50. Getting down, copping one for his troubles there was Baker. Sam Baker. Only a little man. He did a good second effort to go after it again and then cop one on the scone. So he'll have a ping from about 50 metres out, almost directly in front. And with a bit of the breeze at his back, he'd probably back himself in from here.
Oh, look, I think he should be able to kick this. And that, again, was from a quick transference out of the middle with quick hands.
So Baker comes in now. He'll have to kick it high over the top there of Stevens, and he makes absolutely no mistake. The goal umpire barely moved. It was a bit of a wafter and pofter as it went through, but it's still got the 6 points nonetheless. Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 12.5 minutes now into this first term, and Lilydale, they break away by 5 points. They regain the lead. We've had a couple of lead changes already in this first term. 2-1-13, Mooroolbark 1-2-8.
Both sides are looking dangerous when the ball's hitting the ground in the forward line, so at this stage, it hasn't been the marking targets, it's been those players on the ground. So I would think that both small forwards, groups of small forwards, are going to play a big part in today's game.
So lead changes are plenty early in this knockout semi-final. Lilydale leading by 5 points. Sam Baker almost reminds me of John Platten in the way he plays footy, the little man. Back in the middle, tap one by Mitchiner once again for the Falcons, but we'll have a secondary bounce as it's locked up in the scrimmage in the middle.
So you're saying he's a rat?
Yeah, that's a kind term for it. Tap one
it's
by
a compliment.
Atkinson. It is. He grew his hair out a bit. He looked like him as trying to break away from the pack is McNay, but it's the Mustangs with the clearance again. In the direction of Hassan went the handball. He was dispossessed. The tackling pressure is immense there from Wiles, and it's a push at the back, so Hassan will be the recipient on centre wing. Sends the kick out wide to the run of Sutherland. Sutherland on the right foot, a probing kick towards right half forward. At the back for the Mustangs there, a big spoil from Downey. Gained some meterage here for the Mustangs, but the Falcons had the numbers across centre half back, and they can work the transition through the corridor. Away they go. Tumbling kick there in the direction of the run of Kennedy, who beat his opponent, did it well. Spearing kick towards right half. The mark dropped on the second bite there. I think it was Koga diving in for it. Still a chance for the Falcons if they can keep it in play. They can't. It falls out in favour of Kennedy, and we'll have the ball in 60 out from the Lilydale goal.
Almost disaster there for Mooroolbark. I think it was Roth actually fell over in the chase there, which let the player get free.
So the Falcons lead by 5 points. Halfway through the first term, Stevens went up in the ruck. Almost uncontested there. Over the back.
A worry at the moment is the ease at which Lilydale are running the ball out of their defence and their quick hands, so it's something Mooroolbark have got to be aware of.
Stevens beat Morrison at the rock contest. Class Henry was in there. He was quickly brought to ground. Strong tackle there by Josh Hammond. So it's moved out to about 60 metres out from the Lilydale goal line. Nice knockdown there by Morrison, hoping for his team's advantage. A strong tackle in the middle of the ground. Umpire said play on. Now Mooroolbark have a bit of a run. Looping handball over the top. Here's Downey on the left boot. Inside forward 50. Spearing pass it was. Aaron Beddoes comes out and took it lace out. Fantastic play there, Mooroolbark. They got a bit of a stroke of luck without being pinged across the half back line, but moved the ball nicely and quickly forward. So Aaron Beddoes to give Mooroolbark back the lead. Seesawing affair early in this first term comes in. That's a beautiful kick off the boot. Has it got the carry? It doesn't. Right towards the goal line. Eventually knocked through for one behind. 16 minutes gone here in the first term. Mooroolbark versus Lilydale. And Lilydale, they lead 2-1-13 to 1-3-9. A 4-point margin, Damo. As the ball's being brought back in and Del Biondo takes it.
Yes, Del Biondo received it from Klepp, sends a long ball towards centre wing. Stevens flew high. He was against two opponents, forced it to ground level, but it's all the Falcons burrowing in under the pack. Healy sends it towards half forward. They got the loose man in Preston. Preston sends the right foot kick into the pocket. Again, a bit too high for his intended target there in Koga. It falls out the back in front of McManus of the Sean variety, and we'll have the ball in deep in the forward pocket, western side of Torwall Reserve for the Falcons.
Great work by Sean McManus here. That was really dangerous, but he got back to make the spoil just in the nick of time.
It was a poor disposal, though. They should have got a goal out of that. They had everything running their way.
So the throw in, still a chance for the Falcons to build on their 4-point buffer. Bit of a pinball action there amongst Stevens in the ruck contest. Stripped of the football there was Sutherland. High clearing kick for the Mustangs is a good one. Finds a target in Roth. Couldn't take the mark. He was certainly set upon in terms of pressure. He tries to apply the tackle there on his opponent in Healy, and will have a bounce 55 out from the Falcons' goal. Well, certainly the final intensity on appearance here in this semi-final. Choose Tap Division 2 final series. Stevens won the tap, couldn't get an effective clear out. Bertson is taken down, and a bit of physicality there. The players not afraid to show their wares as we have a ball up 60 out from the Lilydale goal.
That was one of those sling tackles that was fractionally dangerous because he had the boy's arms pinned as he tackled him heavily to the ground.
He's staggering too, the Lilydale player, to get up. I think McManus was the one who affected the tackle.
It was James McManus.
And the trainers attending to the Lilydale player there, as you mentioned, Davo, a sleek tackle. And we'll have a pause in play. I think at the bottom of the pack was Berntson. And he's been attended to by the trainers, but he looks okay. So we'll resume play. 60 out from the Falcons' goal. Stevens will win the tap. Forced it to ground level. Berntson hacks it inside 50 for Lilydale. The mark out the back on the chest. Koga read it the better against his opponent. And he can have a shot from 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
I still reckon they've been a little bit more dangerous around the contest at the moment at Lilydale, and something that Mooroolbark have really got to get, because they're winning the tap-outs, Mooroolbark, but just can't win it around the contest.
So Lockie Koga to give Lilydale a 10-point buffer, almost at the time on in this first term. Should be a deliberate approach, and he should kick it with the breeze at his back. Koga from 40 metres out. Oh, straight through the middle. That was textbook. So Koga boots a goal, and Lilydale move out to a 10-point lead, 3-1-19, leading Mooroolbark 1-3-9. We've gone almost 20 minutes, first term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Let's head boundary side. Tim Fitzsimons is down there.
Yeah, Mooroolbark will be disappointed with that. They actually had one loose behind the ball there for a quick kick out of that pack, and they would have been expecting to kill it there, but they weren't able to, and resulting in a Lilydale goal.
So margins opened out to 10 points here. They do have the breeze.
I'm just very interested with the Mooroolbark setup with they got Giorgio, Stevens and the other bit Beddoes forward. It is a very large and tall forward line at the moment.
Almost into time on here, going up there, Atkinson. He almost got knocked off the football then. Umpire said it was okay. It came charging through there. He's Class Henry going forward. Caught one for his troubles. Is it a downfield free kick? It might be. Preston was there. He didn't take the mark, but it's certainly going to be a free kick to Lilydale and another shot on goal. So Andrew Preston, a little bit of argy-bargy happening after that last play to drive the ball forward. But
I tell you what, there was a bit of feeling the last time these guys played as well. It was, I think, around about the third quarter, they got very, very nasty.
Preston comes in and Preston kicks straight. Lilydale have got 4 now on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard and opened up a very handy lead as we head into time on here in the first term. 4-1-25, Mooroolbark 139. Let's cross down to Ray Baird, boundary side.
Yeah, look, the first 10 minutes of this quarter, things were pretty quiet on the field, but it certainly heated up in the last 10 minutes. But just to you, David, having Giorgio on that forward line, you spoke about how tall it was. When you're kicking against the wind, why wouldn't you have your best defender down the back line?
Yeah, especially into the breeze, Ray, I agree. I think Giorgio needs to be down there, but with the breeze, maybe you would take that risk and put him down forward and capitalise on his size. But it's a strange move straight up.
Signs ominous for Mooroolbark in this first term. Margin out to 16 points in favour of the Falcons. Neither ruckman could win the tap. Trying to pinball it out there as James McManus was unsuccessful. The Falcons, Willip Ford, diving on top of the football there amongst a couple of Mustangs. Looks as if it was Roth. Let's head to Grant Campbell for some Choose Tap match stats.
The inside 50 is now 9-8 in favour of Mooroolbark, so Lilydale really evening it up in the last 10 minutes.
Tap one at the back for the Falcons by Mitchell, who's been dominant early in that department. The hand pass comes out to Atkinson, swings it out wide. He'll direct at the hand pass, however, as Harvey breaks the tackle, wheels onto the left foot from centre wing, looks towards the left half forward flank. Free kick behind the play here for holding on.
Downfield again.
Yeah, it'll be downfield in favour of Lilydale, so Lowe will be the recipient here.
Oh, might have gone to Preston once again.
Yes.
He's enjoying receiving these gifts here at the moment.
That's our boundary side, Ray Baird.
It wasn't actually downfield, Boyd. It was holding it forward as he was about to lead.
In the meantime, Preston kicks a minor score, so Lilydale move on to 4-2-26. They're leading Mooroolbark 139. We've gone 22 minutes first term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
So there's probably about 7 or 8 minutes left in this term. Mooroolbark would love to peg one back. It was risky business. Looking for Egan. He couldn't quite trap the mark. Charging through there was Burnston. He'll go after it. He had a teammate there in Wilson in support, but the Mustangs, they did have the numbers. Just fumbling after it there was Egan. Couldn't quite trap the football. Burnston came in again. It eventually got released out. Came out towards McNay. Kicked a ripper already in this term. They're setting up across the face of goal here on the right boot. Here's Harvey inside forward 50. He goes, couldn't quite spot up a target. It's McManus is there to pick it up, and then once again another free kick to Lilydale inside the forward arc. Well, they're playing in front and they're receiving the frees at the moment, gentlemen.
Yeah, look, I think the pace of Lilydale is worrying Mooroolbark at the moment, and Mooroolbark have just made some uncharacteristic fumbles in the back half, which is certainly hurting them. And the one-on-one targets are winning their positions down in the Lilydale forward line.
Well, Brad Lowe has the football. These are the ones you practice. 40 metres out directly in front. Should kick the goal and does kick the goal. 5 goals now on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard to the Lilydale Football Club. Haven't they opened up magnificently in this game today? 5-2-32. They lead Mooroolbark 139. Let's cross down to Raymond Baird, boundary side.
Yeah, look, one thing that is really worrying Mooroolbark is the ferocity at the ball by the Lilydale side. They are ferocious at the ball.
They say it's magpie season around this time of year, but the Falcons are the ones swooping on the Mustangs at the moment. 23 points the margin. Back in the middle, Mitchin has been fantastic at the ruck against Atkinson. It's been a great duel. Mitchener again winning the tap, but this time it's to his opposing number in Jordan, who hacks it towards centre half forward. Chance now for the Mustangs. They need to peg one back before quarter time.
Nice.
It's on the left half forward flank. Hand pass comes out to Giorgio. Sends a long ball towards full forward. It's across the face of goal. Bounces over the line in the forward pocket for the Mustangs.
Just a nothing kick from Giorgio there. I'm not quite sure what he was doing. He wasn't having a shot at goal, and there was really no one trying to get on the end of it. So a bit of as I say, a nothing kick.
Giorgio, 20 goals for the season. He's the leading goal kicker out there for Mooroolbark, with Talevski out of the side, of course. Mitchener gets the front position on Stevens. Trying to break through there is Hager for the Mustangs. He's wrapped up in a tackle. And also there is Kennedy for Lilydale. And a free kick's been picked out. It's going to go the way of Kennedy for the Falcons here. Deep inside the defensive zone for Lilydale.
Certainly received a lot of free kicks in this first term, Lilydale. Not saying they haven't deserved them, but the umpire's certainly been in their favour. Healy takes the mark, wants to switch the play out here, out towards that Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Little handball over the top to the run of Klepp, now on the left boot and wants to use the wing position. It was a neat looking kick too. Good mark there taken by Sam Baker, who takes off and now drives the ball up towards the half forward line, and they've linked up well. Once again, charging through, here's Klepp on the left boot. It was a scrambly one because he just got met as he kicked it, and it eventually tumbles through for one behind on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 25 minutes into this first quarter. It's a straight 4-goal lead here. 24 points, 5-3-33 to 1-3-9 as Mooroolbark to bring the ball back in grandstand side.
Mark taken at the right half forward flank for Lilydale, but it's in the defensive zone for Mooroolbark as Egan takes it. So Egan from left half back looks down towards the wing. Flying high there was Atkinson. Couldn't take the mark, but there are rovers aplenty. Kick in the Giorgio direction on centre wing. Did well to turn his man inside out, but the boundary line beat him. We'll have a throw in right in front of our broadcast position on centre wing. Notice a lot of man buns out here.
I think we said the same thing the last time we were looking at the at the sides.
Right.
Looks like a Lilydale player coming off with looks like a bad ankle.
We'll get our boundary riders to keep an eye on it. Stevens won the tap for the Mustangs. Jordan sends a probing kick towards left half forward. It's a good target, and the mark has been taken there by Roth. So Jordan Roth's about 53 metres out from goal and a very acute angle.
It's a big kick, this. If they can get this, they'll pull it back, because at the moment, 24 points. It's a big margin.
Now kicking against a slight breeze. Roth on the left foot. Works it from left to right. It's coming back. It's very high. It's across the face. Still a chance at ground level, and it's rushed through for a behind. So Mooroolbark move on to 1-4-10. They're trailing Lilydale 5-3-33. 26 and a half minutes into the first term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Just saw Trent Georgia up the ground, Dave. It looks like he's gone back to his more traditional position.
Yeah, I think he's kind of like roving between both the arcs at the moment. He's a bit like that as a player, and it's Ryan Harvey who came off for Lilydale.
Preston's kick was chopped off by Sullivan. He got it to Jordan, who tried to go back to his teammate Slattery. Got trapped in a tackle. Another free kick to Lilydale. They're all over it at the moment.
And it's that tackling pressure, and once they go, they just keep running.
Blackburn leading at the moment 19-6 against the Doncaster Football Club in the Division 1 elimination final as Mooroolbark looked to go forward once again. The kick up towards Slattery. He had a few players to beat. Baker was there to mop up there for the Falcons. Well done there by Slattery. Great second effort. Handball over the top. Jordan, can they link up okay? Here's Musa. Got himself out of trouble. Atkinson was crunched in a brilliant tackle there. Well done there by Kennedy. Gets it, mops up, and then thumps it on his boot in towards the middle of the ground. Little knock over the back. Here's a go for the Falcons. The kick goes forward. It was a scramble one, and it might be okay here for McManus just to mop up. He had the back spot, and the safe hands of Sean McManus gets it away to Slattery on the right boot. Just poked it up towards the boundary line where Maxi Ward takes the mark, and he's just happy to stem the flow here. He'll try and switch the ball back in. That was okay. James Cutting takes it just outside the centre square here. They're still across the half back line, Mooroolbark, as the kick goes up towards the half forward line. They need to be out in front as a siren sounds to announce quarter time out here at Tormore Reserve, and a great opening term by the Lilydale Football Club. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, they lead by 23 points, 5-3-33 to Mooroolbark, 1-4-10. No major goal kickers on the ground. They're all singles for Lilydale. Koga, Lowe, and Preston McNay, who kicked an absolute corker. Sam Baker also, while Jordan Roth has the only major for the Mustangs thus far. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe on efl.org.au. We're going to have our breakout here, and we'll come back at quarter time. Our game day host, Wayne Brasher, will bring us back in. He did a great job on AFL Sunday, and we're all set for a big second term.
How would you like to be celebrated?
I could put together a really cool playlist.
Frank Sinatra.
Elton John.
Beethoven. John Lennon.
Boy bands.
A lot of 90s.
I'd certainly not be opposed to people dancing.
Finger food.
Party pies.
Homemade pickles.
I'd like some cake.
Twix. There will be fairy bread.
Twix.
I have a thing for pink lemonade.
And lots of coffee.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, they know that every life is unique and they think that every celebration should be too. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
A new time and a new team, driving you home in 2016. Join a brand new lineup for The Huddle as the gang take a light-hearted look at the Eastern Football League every Friday night. More importantly, the team will reveal the ins and outs for this week's round of matches. The Huddle, 4:30 to 6:30 every Friday evening as you love it local. EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to EFL.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best.
My plans for the year, save up for a house so we can build hopefully in November.
Going overseas to Japan.
Recently become a father of a second child.
Finish up baseball season.
Take the kids skiing.
Move into a new house.
Go to the footy a lot.
I am in a tennis tournament in April. Have a hobby farm. That would be my dream.
The beauty of a fixed price funeral plan is that the price never changes and you can celebrate your life the way you want. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program
EFL
sponsor.
Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back here. It's game day here on East Radio Eastern 98.1. It's the Division 2 first semi-final here between Lilydale and Mooroolbark, and at quarter time it's Lilydale with 23-point lead, 5 goals, 3-33, leading Mooroolbark 1 goal, 4-10, and Damien Watson, just take us through where Lilydale gained the ascendancy so early in this game.
Certainly has been a scrappy encounter, that's for sure. I think Lilydale, in a sense, have been the better in terms of the physical presence around the packs and around the scrimmages, and they've willed the ball forward, which has been fantastic. Grant Soupy Campbell, some match stats for Yarra Valley Water.
Yeah, a lot of the stats were quite even, which is surprising given the scoreboard. Clearances 10-9 in favour of Lilydale, inside 50s 12-11 in favour of Lilydale. They did have 7 free kicks to 3, and 3 of those were inside 50, so quite important ones. An interesting note, Lilydale 37 kicks, 23 handballs, compared to Mooroolbark 31 kicks, 32 handballs. It is a bit wet. Maybe you want to kick it a bit more often than your handball, so that's something Lilydale, I think, did well in that first quarter. Mooroolbark could adjust that for the rest of the game.
Brett Davidson leading the special comments this afternoon. Where have Lilydale dominated the contest so early, and what can Mooroolbark do to get back into it?
I think their physicality's been one thing, but I think they've worked their chains better. They've managed the 1, 2, 3 link-ups through the ground a little bit better than Mooroolbark. Mooroolbark have been, especially in the last 10 minutes, fumbled the ball at crucial times, weren't able to get the clean clearance or the clean handball, the clean kick out. I think that's where Lilydale have been better. Mooroolbark, look, I think when you've got a bit of a breeze in this situation, you want to see what it's like at half-time. And I think that's the thing that we've got to see is how they're going to match up at half-time. They need to get better clearance out of the middle. They need to work out their forward half, exactly what sort of structure they're going to come up with. And I think they need to get Giorgio into the game, because when he gets into it, he really creates an X factor for them.
Interesting stat about the handballs to kick ratio, David. Do you think perhaps they're over-possessing the ball a wee bit, Mooroolbark, because Teleski's not up forward? They're a bit scared to bomb it in long because there's no real target for them up there?
Possibility. I mean, they were working into the breeze, so I suppose they didn't want to go. They may have tried to build change, which didn't work for them, but I just thought that Lilydale were just a bit cleaner in that area. I think there was probably 5 times during the quarter where they had 2 handballs and a kick forward, and they seemed to break between the lines a lot better than what Mooroolbark were going to be able to do. So it will be interesting to see what happens. I thought McManus started well but went out of it in the last 10 minutes of the game. They need him getting his hands on the football because of his creativity. And again, they've got 3 forwards there in Stevens, Giorgio and
Cutting.
Cutting, but I think also There's another boy that's been up there that's quite a big player, that Beddoes, and they haven't really been working out their system well enough yet.
That's our boundary side. Tim Fitzsimons and Ray Baird were at the huddles.
He was really happy with the pressure, and he thinks that'll set him up for the rest of the game now. Mooroolbark knowing that there's going to be pressure and a bit of perceived pressure, getting them to rush into kicks, but he knows there's going to be momentum shifts in the game, and he just needs his team to stand up when Mooroolbark do get on top. And he was really happy with their zone from their kicking, causing a turnover and getting that one goal just quickly on Ryan Harvey, who came off then. Talked to the trainers, who gave me absolutely nothing, didn't want to give anything away at all. So all she said was, "Oh, you should be right. You should be right. Don't worry about it." But it looks to be an ankle by the way he was sitting on the bench. Ray Baird has the Mooroolbark huddle.
Yeah, look, Paris Harvey wasn't happy at all, but he wanted his players to be a lot harder at the contested ball. Now, what he wants them to do this quarter is that go through the corridor, short pass, don't bomb the ball down. Over to you, boys.
Underway in the second term. Mitchell won the tap again for Lilydale, but McManus was at the fore of the ball for the Mustangs. They need a quick goal early in the second term. Big bump applied there on McNay. Still the ball in dispute. At the bottom of the pack there for Mooroolbark is Belly, and will have a bounce as he's put on his belly 70 metres out from goal.
Been practising that one all week.
No, it just came to me because it's so creative. It's not really creative.
Of course it did.
It's not really creative, is it? Atkinson won the tap for the Mustangs. Working his way forward there is Jordan. He went backwards to go forwards. Got the hand pass away to Egan, and away go the Mustangs towards left half forward. Kick went over the head of the intended target in Beddoes. Giorgio couldn't take it on the second bite. It's spoiled over the line. We'll have a bounce 50 out for the Mooroolbark goal.
See, that's been the difference between the two sides already. 2 handballs hitting a target, 2 handballs missing a target there from Mooroolbark.
Let's hit boundary side. Ray Baird.
Yeah, just back on Paris. Look, he obviously without Teletsky there, he doesn't want them bombing the ball down. He's counting on his midfielders to run past the ball. After they short pass into the half-forward line, he wants goals from his midfield. He stressed that.
Hand pass comes in the direction of James McManus. Pushed in the back there was Musa, and he'll receive the free kick. About 50 out from goal, probably within his range with the breeze at his back. He's on a very acute angle, though.
He's going to have to aim out to that right goal post to bring it back if he is.
It's actually a good spot to kick a long-range goal from here.
Musa wheels onto the right foot, sends a long probing kick to the goal line. It won't quite make it. Stevens almost took a chest mark, bustles his way out of the pack. Kick was smothered on the goal line and rushed through in the end by the Lilydale defence. And it's a minor score. Del Biondo taking it over the line. Mooroolbark 1-5-11, trailing Lilydale 5-3-33. 2 minutes gone, second term. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
They're the opportunities you've got to take when you get them.
So Dean Carswell for the Falcons. Of course, all sides are always using that far side of Baronia reserve. Mitchener takes the mark.
I guarantee if we put the van over there, it'd be played over here.
That's what I was going to say.
Certainly not wrong, as Morrison took a good mark and then slammed it on his boot up towards the half-forward line. It wasn't an intended target kick, so nicely done there by McManus of the James variety to get the handball away, but to no avail, chopping it off there. Horsley as we cross down to Raymond Baird.
Damo, if we put the van over there, Bruce could just run the power up to the tower on the mountain to be closer.
The power bill would be higher.
So umpire, free kick to Lilydale it was. So the kick goes up. Preston, he's having some sort of a game as well. He's certainly finding space and winning the football as well. Short pass goes inside forward 50, but chopped off there by Maxi Ward. He did a good job. He'll switch the play here. Goes across. James Bally takes it just at the top of the square there. Last line of defence for Mooroolbark. So he'll drive it out towards the wing position. A one-on-one contest. Had the front spot there was Roth. He's kicked Mooroolbark's only goal thus far. It came at ground level. Musa picked it up. He got dispossessed to the football and threw it away. Free kick to Lilydale. About 80 metres out from goal. Di Franceschi, the recipient. So Mitch Di Franceschi, that was a shocking kick in the end. And the mark has been safely held there by James Bally for Mooroolbark. 3.5 minutes gone. 33 pays 11. 22-point margin to the Falcons.
Billy looks towards centre wing. Giorgio couldn't take the mark. Jumping up high there for the Mustangs was Johns. Got the hand pass away on the left foot. Giorgio streams towards the left half forward. The kick goes in that direction. Roving the ball there is Craig Smith. Tried to break away. Got the hand pass to his teammate in Roth. Sends it into the pocket. Stevens had it spoiled away. That was great defence by Hill for the Falcons. And it's kicked off the ground. It should trickle over the line. There's a bit of a foot race for the ball. Kept in play, however. Bertson tried to effect the tackle. The Mustangs do have possession, however. Trying to weave his way through McManus. Did well to get the right hand pass away, and he roved his own footy. Chance now for the Mustangs. A high ball towards the top of the square. Working back is Giorgio with the flight. Couldn't take the mark. Courageous effort. It is rushed through for a minor score. Mooroolbark 1-6-12, trailing Lilydale 5-3-33. 4 minutes into the second term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
That was just ugly, wasn't it? The way they just brought it in, it was just all scrambled. There's no fluency with their game at the moment.
Tell me about it.
So Klepp to bring it in. Blackburn lead by 8 points over Doncaster in the Division 1 elimination final. 50 metres out from the Mooroolbark goal line. Nicely trapped there by Preston. He got dispossessed of the football. I gave the guy a rap only moments ago, and now he's been pinged. So Atkinson, the big man, he was looking for a giveaway handball, but it wasn't his free kick to begin with. So he'll have to hand it off. So here's Metin Musa. Played a lot of football at the Mooroolbark Football Club. On the right boot, kicks it towards the Stevens direction. He had 2 players to beat, and getting a timely fist on it there was Grant Hill.
Just an awful kick, wasn't it? I mean, there was never going to be a mark there. 2-on-1, just a kick and hope, really.
But Mitchener did a great job. He went in, plugged the hole up, and when you look down there, that was the only area in front of goal that you could go to, and Mitchener was there by himself.
Speak of the devil, Mitchener, a little flick over the back there, but it's scooped upon there by Musa. Got the handball away. He needed some teammates there to help him out, but throwing it away there was Maxie Ward, and the free kick will go the way of Lilydale across the half-back line here. Here's Baker on the right boot. Short passes on. Mitchener takes the mark. Wants to switch the play. It was a scrambly looking kick and a strong mark taken on the second bite there by Jordan. Off to the races on the right boot. Sends the ball inside forward 50. That's a great kick, Giorgio. It was front and centre and took it out on the chest, and he'll have a shot on goal. 40 metres out, almost directly in front. A must goal this kick is.
I like the idea of playing Stevens and Giorgio there, but Stevens has got to stay in the square to allow Giorgio the forward part of the 50 like he did then, and his ability to roam that area is fantastic. He's so dangerous.
Giorgio comes in. He's always a good kick, and that was one of his worst attempts we've seen for a long time. He had the breeze at his back, and he just scissored it. It didn't even make the distance in the end, so a disappointing result there for Mooroolbark. They've kicked 7 behinds on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 1-7-13. So it's 8 scoring shots apiece, but Lilydale, they lead 5-3-33, 20-point lead, Damo.
Klepp looked in the Mitchener direction. Now a free kick will be paid off the pack. It's going the way of Mooroolbark, so they are peppering. It's at right half forward, and the recipient there is Josh Hammond. So Hammond's about 55 out from goal, was held off the ball, onto the left foot, looks into the hot spot. Giorgio a 1-on-1, couldn't take the mark. Lilydale have the numbers at the back through Klepp. Klepp gets the hand pass away, finds his teammate in Mitchener. They work it forward methodically. The chain of hand passes, Mitchener on the end of it at half back. Gets the hand pass away, and the Falcons move it across the outer wing once again. Looks in the direction of Harvey. Chance now for Lilydale to move it towards centre half forward. Leading out for the ball is Preston, who's been fantastic as a target. Gets the hand pass away. Probing kick towards centre half forward. Mooroolbark at the numbers. It's a fickle bounce, but it's favoured Musa. Musa kicks it towards the outer wing. No real target there. It'll bounce in the direction of Craig Smith, who takes it. Didn't have to really break stride. Onto the right foot, kicks towards right half forward, and the mark's been taken by Roth, the only goal kicker for the Mustangs. He rushes the kick to an extent, looking in the Stevens direction. It trickles out of play deep in the Mooroolbark forward pocket.
He didn't even allow his forwards to go back and set up then. He still had Giorgio running back to the goal square when he decided to play on. You've got to understand that forwards have got to have an opportunity to set up, and especially with the 2 big prong forwards. Just a silly option, that one.
Very low percentage going into the forward pocket after 2 really good kicks to get themselves in that position. Mitchener got it down. Grant Hill scrambled a kick, stolen by Mooroolbark, and a shot on goal. That is a fantastic snap around the body there I think it might have been Aaron Bedoz who might have snagged that one through the big man. So he did well to chop that one off and just put it on his boot. A timely one there for the Mooroolbark Football Club. 8.5 minutes into this second term. They inch closer. It's a 14-point margin. 33 plays 19.
It's funny, isn't it? It wasn't necessarily a great lead-up, but they forced the stoppage and they've grabbed the goal, and boy, they needed that.
I think Moose has had a good 10 minutes on the ground. And again, with Giorgio, Carswell's a very good player one-on-one when the ball's in the air. You've got to allow Giorgio space to run. You can't just bomb it onto the top of his head because he's not that sort of player that's going to take the big mark in that area.
Taking a little bit of time to get the Sharon back in the middle over here out at Tormore Reserve. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe on efl.org.au.
And they've changed up their forward line now, gone a fraction smaller. Mooroolbark, so they've taken Stevens off.
Mitchener got the knockdown that time, diving on it, Ryan McNay.
And young Downey, I think, is coming to the forward line.
Restart here in the middle of the park. Mitchener is winning the rock battle so far. Ball bounces out towards the direction there of Bally for Mooroolbark. He hit the deck quite quickly. Sam Baker was right on his hammer and will have another bounce. Sun's gone away, but it's still dry. Entertaining first half out here, and now it'll be Slattery looping handball over the top, and Mooroolbark have a chance to go forward up towards the half-forward line. Bouncing football picked up there by Georgia. Got the handball over the top. He might look for the receive again. Inside forward 50 it goes. They're looking for Downey. They're just going to the pocket too often, I feel, at the moment, Mooroolbark.
Yeah, without a doubt. And look, that's where maybe the forwards are leading, but they've got to go deeper into dangerous territory, which is that 10 metres out from the goal line.
Grant Soupy Campbell, the stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Inside 57-3 in favour of Mooroolbark. Win the clearances 4-1 and the contested possessions 18-8.
Class Henry got the kick out, came out towards the Baker direction. He hit the deck, so too did Wiles. Well done there by Mooroolbark just to hold it up as we cross down boundary side to Ray Baird.
Look, Lilydale are forcing them into that pocket. Lilydale are blocking the corridor up really well.
5-point lead to Doncaster over Blackburn in the elimination final. Close game out there at Jubilee Park as the ball goes up towards the half-forward line for Lilydale or thereabouts. Sam Baker, he's been in and amongst it as well. Little terrier, and received a free kick as well. I thought that was pretty tiggy touchwood, but nonetheless the umpire has paid it the way of the Dales. The kick goes up towards the half-forward line. Got a fair bit of support out on that far side of the ground, Lilydale, and it certainly didn't help him in that instant as the kick was chopped off there by Slattery, but they'll go after it again. Charging through there was Batty, got himself out of a phone booth, got the handball out looking for Class Henry, but it was chopped off now. Mooroolbark, the handball here is Slattery. He has a bounce. He might go, he has two. He might go all the way. Give him the vibro goal and don't forget, put this one through, you little beauty. Oh. That is one of the goals of the year. Mooroolbark, well, if that's not going to lift your side, nothing will. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, that's 3 majors now to them, and they closed the gap back to 8 points. Fantastic play there by the Mustangs.
It was brilliant, wasn't it? Almost looked like he sort of wanted to give it off Slattery. So he had one bounce. I think he looked around, realised there was no one with him, and thought, I'll just go for this myself, and bang, fantastic goal.
And as is the case in the AFL, he does that and he comes off onto the interchange, which is just what you need. Unbelievable.
Let's head boundary side, Ray Baird.
Exactly what Paris was asking for at quarter time, boys. Down the corridor, midfielders scoring goals.
A goal, an answering one to Mooroolbark. They've struck 2 together, and it really came out of nowhere. Slattery streaming through the corridor. What's been a scrappy encounter. Lilydale by 8 points, back in the middle. Stevens moving into the ruck, but it's still Lilydale through Mitchener winning the taps, and it's Birdson from 70 metres out into the corridor, looks towards full forward. How about that for an answering passage of play? And the mark for the big man, of course, a great mark out in front.
Might be Preston again, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Preston. He's had a terrific go.
And he takes the mark 30 out directly in front. So Andrew Preston to answer The 2 strung goals consecutively for Mooroolbark. It's a floating kick to the right, minus score. So Lilydale, wasted opportunity, 5-4-34, leading Mooroolbark 3-7-25. 13 minutes gone, second term, Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Let's head boundary side, Timmy.
Yeah, just an update on Ryan Harvey. I just saw him get his ankle strapped. He was doing some run-throughs before. He was looking very, very proppy, so it's going to take a big effort for him to get back out in the park, I'd say.
So Cutting takes the mark at left half back. From the relieving kick in, looks towards centre wing. The Mustangs are away here once again. A quick bounce. Moving forward is Musa. Musa on the right foot, sends a long ball towards goal. Oh! It hit the post pretty much at the top of the woodwork. That would have been a contender for Vibra goal today. We've seen a few of those. Mooroolbark 3-8-26 trail Lilydale 5-4-34 at the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 14 minutes in second term.
That's great. Quick transference that from Mooroolbark. Just what Lilydale were doing in the first term.
And they're going to get another chance here as a handball goes out. It's still kept alive. Another shot on goal. This one might have gone through. I think it has. It might have been Maxie Ward that's put that one through on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Or it might have been Craig Smith. In fact, it was Craig Smith. He did well. He got down, he picked it up and slammed it on his boot. So Mooroolbark, they are coming. There's no doubt about that. A 2-point ball game, Brett Beston, as we cross the 15-minute mark of this second term.
Craig Smith's been relatively quiet, so nice to see him get a goal. But Mooroolbark are playing the sort of game that they played last time they played Lilydale, and starting to really get on top now. So, well, not on top, but certainly getting right back into it.
I know Ray said that Paris wanted short passes and to work the ball forward, but for what I saw out here yesterday with Knox and Doncaster East, it was all about just getting that momentum, kicking the ball on, creating space, creating opportunity, and you can see the goals roll through, and that's what Mooroolbark have been doing in the last 10 minutes.
Mitchell won the tap. Burnson tried to stream forward, but again, Mooroolbark have the answers through Musa. Kick towards centre half forward, a tumbling punt, bounced off the chest of Hassan. Tries to regain it, but it's all Lilydale with the numbers, and the clearing kick from Klepp finds the intended target in Burnson. Burnson kicks it towards the half-forward line.
Oh, that's a great tackle.
Great tackle from Ward. That's one of the tackles of the afternoon, and now Mooroolbark move forward on the counter-attack. Mark taken on the chest by Stevens. 70 out from goal. Kicks into the man on the mark. It tumbles through towards half-forward. Trying to barge his way through there is Downey. The whistle has been blown. It's a Mooroolbark free kick, and the recipient will be that man Downey for a high tackle.
Well, you've got to have a shot from here.
That's why you don't give big men the ball and ask them to do fancy things with their footwork.
What, the Stevens one?
Oh, what was he thinking?
I was just thinking you're doing quite well to tackle Downey high because he's about 9'7". He's a big boy.
So Sam Downey be kicking from about 53 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Slight breeze at his back to put Mooroolbark in front. It's not a bad effort. The crowd go up behind the goals, and the Mustangs are on fire. They've hit the front, 5-8-38. Lilydale, 5-4-34. 16 minutes gone, second term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Well, the difference has been the fact that there's been the game's spread out now. The ball's getting on the outside, and so Lilydale's effectiveness of being hard at the contest has disappeared, and they've not been able to get that physical pressure at all during this quarter. So Mooroolbark's run has been exceptional.
Certainly an entertaining first half. We were worried early that it might be quite a dour affair with the weather, but the heavens have opened and we are seeing some pretty impressive football here. Play to restart it once again in the middle of the ground. A lot of plays around this football, scooped upon there by McManus of the James variety on the left boot, kicked it out wide. The first player out to pick up the football there was Klepp for Lilydale. He'll swing around on the left. It was a pretty cute kick, but it was okay because the pace was there. On the right boot, an up and under kick, gained some valuable distance up towards the half forward line. Getting a bit of a fist on it there was Ward, who looked like he was held by one arm, which the umpire did see, and he'll take the free kick, kicks the ball out wide. Did okay, McManus, handballs it, that was James. And now they're off, here's Musa, this way, that way, linked up okay here with Sutherland. They're in a little bit of trouble, but they've got the teammates to support themselves. McManus on the left boot, isn't he having some sort of a quarter? Spotted up Cutting, who took the mark and then took off. The umpire said play on. Mooroolbark drive the ball forward. It's going to be a 6-on-6 contest at the top of the goal square. Grant Hill got the knockdown there, got the fist away, going after it there. Almost could have been held without the football. Was Johns Hill came back in over the top, and now Lilydale, they might have the numbers. The little scrambly kick out wide, looking towards the direction there of Koga over the boundary line. It goes. That was from Carswell, and we'll have a boundary throw in. It's a hot footy. It's an entertaining second quarter.
Certainly the tempo has risen in the last 20 minutes. Throwing 55 out for the Mooroolbark goal. Stevens won it out of the ruck, roved his own footy, falls to ground level, couldn't quite trap it in. Quick kick out of the pack from Hammond towards the top of the goal square. The Mustangs are pressing, trying to paddle it forward. He's going backwards to go forwards. That man there at the bottom of the pack, I think it was Beddoes, forced it to ground level. Hand pass comes out though for the Falcons. They'll clear it through Class Henry to Burnson. Burnson kicks it towards centre wing. An open foot race. Charging after it is Cutting. Can keep it in play with the still football. It was stationary. Hand pass over the top to Slattery. Now the Mustangs work it towards the half forward line. Lilydale have the numbers in the pack. At the bottom of it is Morrison. The ball's going nowhere as McManus applies the tackle as we head to Grant Campbell for some Tuesday match stats.
Inside 50s 14-4 in favour from Mooroolbark. Contested possessions 30-17 in their favour.
Certainly dominating this second term. Here's Slattery, who just busted his way out of the pack, thumped the ball inside forward 50. Giorgio was at the back. He tried to trap it, goes after it again. Second, third effort, dives on the football. Klepp was right on his hammer. Umpire said, everything was fair, boys. Give it to me and we'll have a bounce 40 metres out from the Mooroolbark goals.
Cutting's had a very big influence this quarter. It's been very, very good.
Pye throws it up now. Stevens, he goes up that time against Morrison. Lilydale, a little quick kick out of the pack there, bouncing football out towards the Wilson direction. He had an opponent there in Jordan who got to the football quicker, but in the end, the paint wins out as it often does, and over she goes for a boundary throw in, 75 metres out from the Mooroolbark goal line. What a second term they are having. They lead this game 5-8-38 to Lilydale 5-4-34. We've almost crossed time on in this second term. This is the final that we're after, a close, very close affair as it comes out now. Lilydale, they're searching for a goal. Mooroolbark have been on such a good run, trying to break away. There was Wilson, good second effort, stolen though by Hammond though for the Mustangs. Got a little handball over the top. Stevens got the handball away to Jordan. He couldn't quite trap it over. She goes for a boundary throw-in. Good pressure there by Lockie Wilson for the Falcons, and we'll have a boundary throw-in as we cross down to Ray Baird.
Look, what Paris has done, he's put Max Ward out on that other half-back flank there, because that's the only corridor that Lilydale are using when they come out of defence. Lilydale have got to mix it up, take a chance, maybe just on occasion come through the midfield a bit.
Doncaster leading by 13 points in the Division 1 elimination final as we're back underway at Tormore Reserve. McManus applying the tackle, it's in the back. And the recipient for Lilydale, it was probably there.
I'll tell you what, that could have almost been 25 too.
He's lucky there, McManus.
Yeah, McManus pushing McNay, but McNay takes the relieving free kick into the centre of the ground, trying to find Koga. Mooroolbark have the numbers. High tackle applied on Slattery, not paid. A dive on top of the football. A couple of ensuing players will have a bounce in the centre of the ground.
Crowd really starting to get into this.
They love their footy, don't they? Out towards the gateway of the Yarra Valley, Lilydale and Mooroolbark. Geographical neighbours and rivals. Burnston wins the clearance with a rain-making kick towards centre half forward for the Falcons. Flying high was low, brought it to ground level, but the Mustangs have the numbers around the scrimmages at the moment. McManus got the hand pass away.
Great tackle.
Trying to apply. The tackle there was brilliant play from Batty. Also in the thick of it there is to Pace, and we'll have a bounce about 70 out from the Lilydale goal.
Getting really willing in those contests, isn't it? It's getting very, very physical.
So we're set in motion once again. Hope you're enjoying the atmosphere through the wireless. Mitchener. Free kick's been paid off the pack. I think Ward's going to be the recipient here for the Mustangs.
Incorrect disposal.
So a good tackle applied by Ward. Looks laterally towards the outer wing. Hand pass comes to Slattery in the centre of the ground. Sends a dribbling kick towards Craig Smith. Made it difficult for him. Interception from DePace. DePace manages to hack it onto his boot towards centre half forward.
Clever.
Good slap there from Mitchener. If a slap is allowed, here's a kick inside 50. Lilydale had the numbers on the bounce. Hand pass comes in the direction of Koga. Weaves his way through. High ball. Diving underneath it is Preston. Couldn't quite take it at the ground level. And Lowe takes the mark and kicks the goal. I think he took it on the bounce. It was 1 metre out, ran into the open goal, and Lilydale regained the lead. They're 6-4-40, leading Mooroolbark 5-8-38, 22 and a half minutes into the second term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
And once again, it was that man Preston, wasn't it, who's been very, very good. He got the ball in the pocket and gave the hand pass off. Terrific work by him.
And great tap on from Mitchener, wasn't it, really? That was a very clever piece of work. And unfortunately, Mooroolbark they tried that little tap on in the middle. It just didn't work. So If it comes off, it's great. If it doesn't, it can cause you a turnover.
That's low second. Finally, we have a multiple goal scorer on the park today as the umpire pays a free kick to Lilydale. Out of the middle of the ground, here's Horsley on the left boot, squeezed to kick up. That was good. Low takes the mark. Asking for players to present across the half-forward line and then just poked it up, so that was okay. Here's Lockie Kogo, kicked it straight into the man of the mark. He'll have to go after it again. Fantastic play there by McManus of the Sean variety. He had the smother, then he mopped up the pieces as well, got it away. Here's Hager on the left boot for Mooroolbark, inside forward 50 or thereabouts, across the half-forward line. Atkinson almost threw it away, looking for Slattery. Charging through there was Del Biondo for Lilydale. He was dispossessed. The umpire said play on, and the Falcons moved the ball up towards the half-back line. Koga went after it. McManus got a timely hand on it, got it away to his brother there in James. Eventually the ball's pushed over the boundary line. James Bally sees it over right in front of us here in the broadcast position, right in front of the faithful of both sides. It's all happening out here at Tormore Reserve. 40 plays, 38. Lilydale lead by 2 points, 24 minutes into the second term. Big stick, Scratton Stevens. He got into the front spot, got the knockdown there. There was a lot of plays around this football. Will it scoot out? Eventually it does. Well done there by Hammond. Got the handball away. What a crunching tackle that was, though, and unrewarded. It was brilliant by Ryan McNay. And he feels like he's been hard done by because he brought down James McManus, who's had some sort of a first half, especially in this second term, and will have a bounce true centre wing position.
It's our boundary side.
Yeah, the intensity's really gone up here. It's definitely gone up a notch here. The last probably 2 minutes or so, the crowd getting really involved.
Yes, you can hear it through the effects by Jordan. In a confined space, Hammond's kick was smothered, and he applies a tackle on his opponent. For Lilydale and McNay will have a bounce, true centre wing position.
I just wonder if it might fly up a wee bit, boys, because there was a fair bit of feeling the last time these two sides met. It's getting a little bit willing out there, so we could see a little bit of stuff, bit of rough stuff come into this game.
It was a throw-in the end. It trickled over the line. Stevens won the tap for Mooroolbark. He's been good in the ruck this term as Craig Smith is gang tackle. We'll have a bounce again on centre wing. Right in front of our broadcast position.
You've gone very quiet, BWS. I think it was the burgers that you saw walking past you.
McManus's kick was smothered out of the pack, but it ricochets back to his teammate.
You should see me when a beer walks past.
Hacks it towards half forward, and the umpire will come in with a relieving stoppage. 70 out for the Mooroolbark goal.
A walking bear, now that I'd like to see.
Rainbow appearing in the background amongst the Dandenong Rangers. Stevens won the tap, but Burnston hacks it out of mid-air towards centre wing. McManus at the fore of the ball is gang tackle, ducked the head. Umpire calls for a bounce.
It's gone back to that 5 minutes of really tough, intense football that Lilydale were enjoying early on in the game.
Lilydale holding a 2-point advantage over Mooroolbark. Late in this second term, we're on the cusp of half-time as McManus is a gig claimed. He's been in the thick of it, Davo, James McManus.
Yeah, he's been terrific. Sorry, Davo.
Yeah, been very, very good.
Don't knock a man when he's trying to have a bite of a burger, Besto. The umpire throws the ball.
I was just doing him a favour because I knew he was about to hoe
in. Comes out now on Class Henry, the hyphen, inside forward 50. Will it stay alive? It just bounces inside, touched over the line.
Oh, gee.
She
enjoyed that.
Throw-in.
That's made her day.
Yeah, Preston diving into the spectators there. There's almost Dustin Fletcher, 1996 at the SCG, when Plugger threw him into the crowd.
The only time Plugger did something like that either is Stevens just threw it away. The umpire said play on, so Jordan had a chance to get it on his left boot in towards the middle of the ground. It was nicely done there by Aiken. He went backwards to go forwards. Now Mooroolbark out towards the far side out here of Tormore Reserve. Can they keep the ball alive? Nicely done there by Downey. Little handball backwards. Again, they'll try and move the ball forward, but nobody is home, and Lilydale a chance to rebound, kicking to the middle of the ground where Burnston takes the mark.
He's been good all day.
He has.
Yeah, he's played very well.
The Jesus headband kicks the ball across the face here. So Lilydale just trying to work themselves forward. Class Henry takes it and he takes off on the left boot. That's a beautiful kick up towards the half forward line. Just had a little bit too much purchase on there that time for Del Biondo. Well done there by Sutherland to trap the football. Lilydale faithful screaming for holding the ball, but the siren sounds in the background to announce half-time of what has been a magnificent game so far in this Division 2 final. Lilydale at half-time. They lead by 2 points, 6-4-40 to Mooroolbark. who came hard and came strong in that second term and reduced the deficit to only 2 points at half-time. The only major goal kicker on the ground for Lilydale is Brad Lowe. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe on efl.org.au. Wayne Brasher will look after half-time for us and bring us all those important around-the-ground scores from the Division 1 clash today between Doncaster and Blackburn, with the Sharks holding an early lead in that first half. And, of course, the big Division 3 clash, the elimination final between Heathmont and Templestowe out at Central Reserve right here on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
Oh, I've got a couple of best friends. Just great people with big hearts.
I met him in kindergarten.
We both keep each other grounded.
He's in the Defence Force.
4 best friends, actually. They're like my sisters.
She's really caring and funny.
He runs amok every weekend, so I haven't seen him that much because I'm married.
We've always just clicked.
Best friend lives in the country.
She's the best.
When celebrating a loved one's life, don't leave it to just anyone to organise. Find out more at turbanbrothers.com.au. Turban Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Nothing better than a companion to keep you up to date with all the latest when you're at the footy. Better still, one that fits in your back pocket. The Eastern Footballer is a must-read. All the latest information, team lists, feature articles and much, much more. Pick up your copy this weekend as you love it local across the Eastern Football League. EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to EFL.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best.
Probably amongst my friends, I'm known for my sense of humour.
So people know me for my laid-back attitude.
I work too much and I play too much sport, and I'm a fantastic mum.
My striking good looks.
I can sing.
Do a lot of running and swimming and surfing.
My karaoke.
Getting overly passionate about sport.
I try to be there for everyone. I think that's what I would be known for in my group.
Be remembered for the great moments in your life. Find out more at turbanbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to EFL Game Day, live on Radio Eastern 98.1. It's a 2-point margin to Lilydale, and it's half-time here. It's Lilydale 6 goals, 440, leading Mooroolbark, who came back into the game in the second quarter with a 4-goal-to-1 quarter. They are 5-8-38. Pardon me. Joining me for half-time and with all the stats that matter, Soupy Campbell, tell us the tale of the tape.
In that second quarter, Mooroolbark won the clearances 13-11. They only had one more kick with 44-43, but the handball stat quite incredible, 36-12 in favour of Mooroolbark. They won the contested possessions by 11 and uncontested possessions by 12. Inside 50 count, that was the really telling one for the quarter, 16-6 in favour of Mooroolbark. And another interesting stat, Mooroolbark kicked 4 goals from general play, so only 1 goal kicked via a set shot. Very unusual to see a side only kick 1 goal from a set shot and a half, yet be only 2 points behind, and probably on the balance of play, I think they should be in front.
Yeah, it's been a game of two halves in a half, because Lilydale really held sway in the first quarter, and Damien Watson. Where do you feel that Mooroolbark got back into the contest?
Oh, I think the Mustangs really, from the opening of the second term, really got back into it because they executed that free running play. I think their transition inside the 50 wasn't very good in the first 10 minutes. They kept favouring the forward pocket, but once they got their running game together and they moved it through the corridor with more conviction, they were a lot better in the transition, and it shows on the scoreboard, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And goal kickers for Lilydale so far, we've got 2 to Lowe, singles to Koga, Preston, McNay and Baker, whilst for Mooroolbark, all single goal kickers, Craig Smith, Slattery, Roth, Beddoes and Downey. I thought it was very interesting in that quarter where I felt that Mooroolbark were able to gain space back again, Damien, off Lilydale, and I thought that Lilydale's outside run had dried up, and all of a sudden Mooroolbark started to take control of that.
They did, and I think the it wasn't necessarily the forward targets. They have compensated for Talevski's loss, haven't they? It hasn't
They
been
have.
the forward targets. It's been the midfielders moving it forward, and they've probably delivered the goal scoring as well. And I think they've been very good across half back, moving it forward.
I don't think so far, though, they've got the full value out of Grattan Stevens down at full forward. During the call, it was noted that he really needs to probably stay more in the goal square rather than try to chase up the ground, because that's exactly what you want Giorgio to do, Damien.
Well, he moved into the ruck, I noticed, in that second term, and I think he was a lot better on Mitchener than, say, the part that Atkinson was playing. I think Mitchener really dominated in the ruck in the first term, and I think his influence was quelled a little bit in that second quarter.
It's really been an interesting contest, because we all thought at quarter time that Lilydale really were going to take control of the contest in this quarter, and hopefully really and then run away with the game in the second quarter. But credit to Mooroolbark, they just started to work their way back into the game, Damien, and I think that look, it sets it up beautifully for a second half. Both sides are going to be, it's the third quarter. Could it be the quarter that breaks the game open, and who's going to break it open?
Well, it's hard to tell really at this point. I think Lilydale were very good in the sense of getting back that goal to regain the lead late in that second quarter, because Mooroolbark really did have the momentum. But a 2-point game at this point, it is very difficult to tell. I think it's been a pendulum swinging game, hasn't it? One side's had the momentum, then the other game's the momentum. I think it's good that it's tight, because I was worried at quarter time that Lilydale were just going to blow it out of the water.
And just quickly, I've got a couple of updated scores here. And our man Davis Harrigan's out at the big clash between Blackburn and Doncaster this afternoon. And so far, Doncaster 7-4-46 are in front of Blackburn 5-2-32. So a 12-point lead, a 14-point lead so far to Doncaster. And in the first semi-final at Central Reserve this afternoon, it's Heathmont Jets leading by 13 points, 5-5-35, leading Templestowe 3-4-22, and Brett Javison joining me now. And Brett, who's going to be the player that's going to break the game open this afternoon in this second half?
It was funny when I was just listening to what you and Damo were both saying about the game to date, and really, there hasn't been anyone on the ground that you can look at that's going to say who's going to take this game apart. And really, there is only one player, and that's Giorgio. Giorgio is that X-factor player on the ground at the moment who, if he gets going, can really do some special stuff in a short amount of time. If you had him forward, he's been okay. They've been sitting the ball on top of his head, which is not the way that he likes to play. He likes to be able to run onto the contest or have the ball run over the top and turn his player inside out. So that's when I said that Stevens, if he's playing forward, has got to go deep into the goal square, give Giorgio the rest of the forward 50 and let him try and work his magic. But he's the only one on the ground that I can see that's really going to have the ability to take the game on. We may end up watching another quarter where you have one side that just gets on top, because as I agree with you 100%, it's been a half of two halves, really. Lilydale dominated the second half of the first quarter, and Mooroolbark dominated the first half of the second quarter. So the rest of the time it's been a bit of an arm wrestle. So it's going to be interesting. I think the coach, Neagle, will be very, very disappointed at Lilydale with their lack of intensity at the contest in that second quarter. But they improved that in probably the last 5 or 6 minutes of the quarter. Would you agree, Damo?
Yeah, I would. And they got that goal back as well to regain the lead, so that is promising. But I wouldn't say there was complacency among Lilydale early in that second term, but do you think that they were switched on coming out of quarter time? Because really, if Lilydale had seized the opportunity in that second term, kicked a couple of goals, they would have put the game out of Mooroolbark's reach almost if they just capitalised.
Without a doubt. I think that the change was the game spread out a little bit. I think the ball wasn't in as tight. There wasn't as much physical contest. There was a little bit more run and spread, and And if you have a look at Mooroolbark and their goals, they scored all their goals from centre to probably end of the square. If you have a look, they had a big space there. They ran into that space and they kicked 2 or 3 of those long running goals. And even the point that Musa kicked where he hit the top of the post just about, they're all from 45, 50 out on the run. So they created that space to run into then. Lilydale chopped that space up a little bit in the last 10 minutes, and that's what slowed the game down a bit more, I think.
To both of you, I'm looking at both the running styles of both sides in that first half. Who do you think looked the more impressive on top of the ground? Was it just that because actually both sides, when they had their opportunities and they moved the ball into their forward line, it was quite fluent. But it just seemed like to me that when Mooroolbark went down into their forward line, it looked like there was a little bit more purpose. Lilydale lacking probably a key forward, which really does straighten them up.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd say that I think Paris has done remarkably well with what he's got at his disposal to set up what is a quite dangerous forward line. He's got the 3 talls. He's got Stevens, he's got Giorgio and Beddoes. And Beddoes has been pretty handy, actually. He's that 3rd tall forward. And that straightens them up. I think Lilydale moved the ball better into their forward line. They just didn't have the targets to hit when they got it in there.
Who do you think for Lilydale and both Mooroolbark, who do you think really needs to lift lift for their respective sides? Who has had the least impact that you thought that really needs to impact the contest?
It's a great question. Great question. I'm not sure whether there's. I thought that at first. McManus started well and then went out of it, but I thought he came back into it again.
He did late in the second.
Late in the second quarter, so he really helped them. I thought that Bernstein's been excellent all quarter for Lilydale, all half, I should say, for Lilydale.
Preston too.
Preston's been good up forward line, so it's hard to know because I don't think you look through Lilydale's team, they don't have a match winner per se that needs to step up and deliver. I thought Class Henry probably went out of it a little bit more in the second half. Second half of that last quarter, he was very good early on. It's a difficult one to know. I think they need to give Preston a bit more space because he certainly is the one target that they've got in the Lilydale forward line.
Well, half-time is now finished and the umpires are back on the ground for the second half. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to bring to you the last half in an enthralling contest. It's Lilydale versus Mooroolbark. It's first semi-final. It's cutthroat right here on Radio Eastern 98.1.
Up the Mitcham Tigers! The Burners!
Let's go, Panthers!
What a mark! Let's go, doggies!
Tobin Brothers Funerals, serving all supporters in the Eastern Football League since 1934. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Never miss out on the latest information on the Eastern Football League through the league's social media channels. Live updates, information and scores through the league's Twitter account. EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to EFL.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best. Bigger and better in season 2016, Netball EFL is back. The fastest growing competition in the eastern suburbs continues to expand. Don't miss the fast-paced action every Friday night across multiple venues. For more information or to get involved, head to efl.org.au.
Up the doggies!
Go, the Bloods!
Great goal, Devils! Can the Vailers!
Tobin Brothers Funerals, serving all supporters in the Eastern Football League since 1934. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to EFL Game Day. It's the knockout final, semi-final day in the Choose Tap Final Series for Division 2 between Lilydale and Mooroolbark, and it's a tight contest at the major break. Lilydale leading by just 2 points, 6-4-40 to Mooroolbark 5-8-38. Amongst the goal kickers, Lowe's booted 2 is the only major scorer on the ground for the Falcons. 1 goal to Koga, also Preston, McNay and Baker, and singles amongst the goal kickers for Mooroolbark with Craig Smith, Slattery, Roth, Beddoes and Sam Downey. Brett Davidson joins me in the box. And Brett, I mean, it's hard to really pinpoint who's going to run away with this game because it's been a pendulum swinging one this way.
It certainly has, and I think it is one of those games where it's ebbed and flowed, and both sides have taken advantage of their opportunities for like 10-minute passages, and then you've had that 10-minute passage in each quarter where nothing's really happened. It's been a real arm wrestle. So, you know, at this stage, it really is a toss of the coin, and it looks like the breeze has picked up a little bit more again, so maybe Lilydale have got that advantage, and the fact is that they've held on to their advantage from quarter time as far as being in front is a positive thing for them, but I really can't give you a definitive answer as to who I even feel like. I couldn't even say I feel like another team is on top at the moment.
Well, it is one of those games which is difficult to pick, that is for sure. If you have a look at some of the standout players on the ground today, I mean, Mooroolbark have had James McManus, who was very good, particularly late in that second term. I thought Meta Musa provided a lot of drive up forward, particularly through the corridor for Mooroolbark in that second term in particular, as the Mustangs return to the field here at Torball Reserve. The Heavens have... they haven't exactly graced us with the best conditions today, but it has been a lot more clear, particularly since the start of the game. It was pelting down during the reserves, which has made the surface a little wet, but the ground has held up well here at Torball Reserve, which is a credit to the staff here. I don't think it's going to rain for the remainder of the game, so it should be an open contest, and it really did, I feel, in the second term become a lot more free-flowing. It was very physical in the first quarter, Davo, and Lilydale probably thrived on that, but Mooroolbark opened up the corridor a little bit, and they were far more free-flowing and clear in their play.
Oh, without a doubt, and I agree. I think the conditions are perfect for football at the moment. You were talking about players that have come into. I thought Slattery had a very good quarter that quarter, moved the ball well through the middle. I agree. I think Musa, especially early in the second quarter, was very, very good. I thought again at Lilydale we talk about Burnston, who was excellent. The big ruckman Mitchener had played his role.
He was good in the first quarter, wasn't he?
Played his role well. So who stands up, I don't know. I think that if Mooroolbark can continue to run like they did in that first half of that second quarter, then they're certainly going to be dangerous, because I think they've got a little bit more dangerous forward line.
And just some around-the-ground scores at half-time. Doncaster hold a 16-point lead against Blackburn. They're 8-6-54, leading the Burners 6-2-38 out at Ringwood. And Heathmont still lead by 13 points over Templestowe, 5-5-35 to 3-4-22. That's the Division 3 Choose Tap final out at Central Reserve in Glebe, Waverley. So a low-scoring game there. It was a very lush surface, as you mentioned, Davo, at the pre-game at Central Reserve. Brett Beston's joined us in the box. Brett, it's hard to pick a winner from this point, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been listening to what you guys are saying. We'll get into Ray Baird. I think he's on the boundary. Ray?
Look, I just spoke to Benny Nagel about Ryan Harvey. They're going to persevere him. He's out on the ground now just to see how that ankle go, but they're not really confident, boys.
It's fair enough too. He was good in the first term, but it's certainly been persistent, that injury troubling him as we get underway in the second half. Lilydale leading by 2 points, and it's Mitchener winning the tap once again, as he has for most of the afternoon. It's a secondary bounce as Horsley is claimed at the bottom of the pack there by Jordan. So ball set in motion once again. Tap one by Mitchener, forces it forward for the Falcons. Hand pass, it was a good one in the clinches from Klepp. Tried to find his target in Healy. They work backwards to go forwards here, the Falcons. Batty at centre wing, looks inboard. Mark taken by Horsley. He's claimed as he tried to play on, trying to break through the pack also is DePace. He was claimed as well by a couple of Mustangs. Lilydale in the centre of the ground. Eventually it pinballs out. Quick kick towards centre half forward. Hill flew high there for the Falcons, but it's all Mooroolbark at the fall of the ball. Chip kick comes out wide, and the relieving mark is taken between half back and centre wing through Hager. Hager looks towards that position in centre centre wing, and Slattery's taken the mark, uncontested. Gets the hand pass back with the 1-2 through Hager towards left half forward, trying to find Giorgio as a target. Couldn't quite take it. Kept in play there by Del Biondo, but only temporarily as he forces it out of play. Left half forward for Mooroolbark, right in front of the grandstand here at Toolmore Reserve.
Just listening to what you guys were saying at half-time, I thought Slattery's had a very good game as well. I agree with you, Dave. Particularly came into it in that second quarter. He's been really good.
Atkinson back at the ruck for Mooroolbark, but it's hit Mitchener, who roves his own footy and kicks it towards centre-half back for the Falcons. Tapped on by Burnston, who was very good in that first half. Slaps it in the direction, trying to favour his teammate in Klepp. Still at ground level, trying to paddle it forward. Klepp regained it, he's gang tackled. We should have a bounce here at centre wing on the eastern side of Toolmore Reserve, where the breeze is blowing.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see whether, when the ball is over one side as much as what it is, whether you play some of your strongest players over that way, to get the full advantage of them. It'd be interesting to see how both coaches set up in that area.
Bit of a scrimmage from the ball up, and we should have a bounce as Burnston relieves himself from the pack. Let's head boundary side, Ray Baird.
Damo, it's just as you said before, that the wind actually has picked up quite a bit here early in this third term, so Lilydale will need to take advantage of it.
Great work, Tim Fitzsimons on the boundary line as diving over the football is Horsley for the Falcons. Couldn't get a clear possession. Eventually it's flicked out in the Burnston direction. Mooroolbark players appealing for deliberate as he takes it over, but to no avail on centre wing. Lilydale by 2 points. The winner will take on Doncaster East next week in the prelim final. The loser, well, season over for 2017. Ball back into play. Neither ruckman won an effective tap out. The fall of the ball, good hand pass from Burnston. They'll try and work it forward here, the Falcons, through Batty on the left foot. Spears it towards right half forward, and it's a good mark out in front from Morrison, who can wheel onto the right foot, sends it into the hot spot. It's a one-on-one contest. Good spoil at the back in the defence there by Egan for the Mustangs. They try and work it out through Craig Smith, who showed great evasion. He's very nimble for a big man. At centre half back, looks into the middle for Giorgio. Couldn't quite find the intended target, and the mark's been taken by DePace, and the Falcons can move it forward. On the right foot, a probing kick towards centre half forward, an uncontested mark on the chest, loose checking there from the Mustangs defence, and it's a mark at centre half forward to Brad Lowe, who can go back and shoot for goal number 3.
Geez, that was really poor, wasn't it? DePace turning the ball over, and then to make matters worse, the ball comes inside 50 and the player standing there all on his own.
Well, it just carried that extra couple of metres and he was in the perfect spot.
So the breeze playing a factor with a number of players misjudging that ball. Brad Lowe directly in front, 55 metres out. He's got the breeze at his back. It has the carry, but not the accuracy. Only a minor score. So Lilydale, 6-5-41, hold a slender 3-point lead over Mooroolbark, 5-8-38. Ellie going third term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Great calling, Damo. 3-point margin out here. Sutherland plays it to himself and then tried to thump the ball every bit of 70 metres. Getting a handle on it that time there was Carswell. Lilydale have the numbers across the backies. Burnston received the handball backwards again. That was okay. Batty linked up with his teammate there in Del Biondo. Inside forward 50 he goes, but a strong mark taken there by Jai Jordan from Mooroolbark. Just inside his defensive 50.
A couple of Jais out there for the Mustangs.
Well, that's a fancy name for the young'uns these days. As it comes out, Burnston just took it well and kicks the ball inside forward 50, but he went way, way wide and out of bounds on the ball it goes.
Not like us old fogies.
I was going to say, you may sound
Brett,
like you're
David, Ben, Wayne. Yeah, none of these like Hunters or Jais or, I don't even know, to be honest. All of them have got beards, I know that, as the ball comes back out towards the wing position now. Slattery got the hand down, but it came down at Burnston. Tried to link up a handball over the top there to Del Biondo. That was trapped nicely done there by Aitken, the emergency today, into the team, and he held the ball up well. So it's true centre wing position, but it's far side of Toolmore Reserve, just for something different as the umpire throws it up. Tried to trap it there was McManus, couldn't do so. So Lilydale do have the numbers. Tried to squeeze a kick there was Batty. That was chopped off there. Slater really did well. Got it away. Musa got dispossessed of the football, and now the Falcons a chance to go forward. That is a strong kick inside forward 50. Screaming for the free kick was Preston. He was probably a little bit unlucky not to receive it in that instant as the driving kick goes out towards the half back line. Stacks on the move. mill, and we will have a ball up, trying to break the tackle that time.
Definitely
Ryan
a free.
McNay.
Sorry, BW. It's definite free kick there. Egan made front on contact. He was stiff there, Preston.
All 5 clearances have gone Lilydale's way this quarter.
Thanks to Choose Tap, it is delicious. Melbourne's best. It was my favourite thing to come back to Melbourne for, Melbourne Water, as it comes out now. Lilydale working their way across the 50. They go. Getting over the top of it there was McNay. He might get pinged here. Well, he almost copped a couple high for his troubles, but the umpire said it was okay, and he got Dunsky. Musa got the handball away, and now Mooroolbark a chance to go forward up towards the wing position. Giorgio certainly held on to. The umpire didn't see it. The big man didn't even need the free kick, got the handball away up towards the Hager direction, who got dumped on the football. That was hardly there. The Giorgio one was, but Mooroolbark, they'll take it as anyone would, as the kick goes inside forward 50, and it went across the face, and the wind got hold of that, and a safe mark has been held for Lilydale, and a short pass is on as well. Burnston, what a game he's having, Davo.
Oh, he's been sensational. Really played a full 2 and a bit quarters of consistent football on ball the whole time. But this has got such a similar feel to what the first 10 minutes of the first quarter was like.
So Klepp towards centre wing. Lowe was in a one-on-one contest, forces it out of play. We'll have a ball in true to centre wing position on the eastern side of Torbor Reserve. Great picturesque atmosphere here at Torbor Reserve in Boronia, with Mount Dandenong glistening in the background.
The rainbow's gone.
Yeah, that's always disappointing. Neither ruckman could win the tap. Falls at Mitchett's feet. The Mustangs have possession at ground level. Hand pass comes out, and they can work it forward on the counter-attack through the corridor. Kick from Slattery was smothered. Trying to barge his way through his belly. He's clean. Still a chance for the Mustangs. Craig Smith got the hand pass away. Good tackle applied there on Slattery by Healy. He'll win the free kick. And is the advantage going to be paid here, or is it going to come back? I think Horsley tried to affect the advantage, but it might be coming back to Lilydale on their half-back line. We wait for the ball to be retrieved. It's at centre half back. It looks as if the recipient here is going to be Klepp. He's waiting for it in the area. It's at left half back here for the Falcons. And in fact, the recipient will be Horsley. It's a poor kick.
Shocking kick.
Looked in the direction of DePace, didn't quite meet him. It got on the bounce. Cutting, tries to slap it forward. He is successful for the Mustangs. Hand pass comes inboard to Musa. Try to weave his way out of trouble. Dipwell arched the back. Just got the kick away, but was ineffective. And the Falcons can move it forward again on the counter-attack towards the centre of the ground. The bounce unkind and fickle for Batty. Still a chance here for the Mustangs as Batty chases his opponent in Sutherland, who falls to ground level with the ball. He takes it over the line. We'll have a throw in again on true centre wing here at Torbor Reserve.
It's been a very, I suppose, lacklustre last 3 or 4 minutes, hasn't it?
Only one behind scored for the
Bit
turn.
of pushing and shoving on the far side, boys. One of the Mooroolbark players on the ground. Can't see who it is.
They just bring the ball back in now. Over the back, Atkinson got the knockdown. Musa came charging through. Mooroolbark, little handball over the top. Slattery tried to link out wide, and now here's a chance for Mooroolbark to go forward. Inside 50, the kick goes. It'll bounce right out in front there of John's got the handball away to Giorgio. He was dispossessed of the football, and now charging through D. Franceschi. Handball over the top for the Dales. This is okay. Horsley now on the left boot, squared up. A pass up towards the half-forward line or thereabouts. Low swings around on the right boot. That was a proving kick inside forward 50. He's looking for Harvey. This way, that way. Broke 2 tackles. Did extremely well. Step around the body. Top of the goal square. They can raffle it. Wilson, he takes the mark only 10 metres out. And this one will be a gimme for the Lilydale Football Club. And they'll stretch their lead to 9 points.
Nothing wrong with his ankle there.
I reckon even I could kick this one.
Wilson, drop punt, go for a goal. There was no doubt about that one going through the big sticks. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 10 minutes into the third term, it is Lilydale leading this one by a very handy 9 points. 7-5-47 to Mooroolbark, 5-8-38.
It's just as well he managed to get that kick across, because they were open for about 4 or 5 seconds, those 2 players, and I thought he was going to give a handball, but he eventually snapped the kick around, and how they could be allowed to be so free for so long has got me beaten.
Let's head boundary side, Tim Fitzsimons.
Yeah, after that great play there from Harvey, he's just come off looking still proppy, but if he's able to do a job down deep, it may pay off.
Stevens looking to come back onto the ground for the Mustangs as we're set in motion again. Mitchell won the tap, and it's Lilydale with the clearance through the arms of McNay. Sends a probing kick into the forward pocket, but it's slapped through for a behind. Well rushed through for the Mooroolbark defence, and only a minor score. Lilydale move on to 7-6-48, leading Mooroolbark 5-8-38. 11 minutes gone, third term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Boundary.
Let's head to Grant Campbell firstly for some Tuesday match stats.
It outs to advantage for the match, 10-3 in favour of Lilydale. It's time for Grattan Stevens to play in the ruck a bit more.
So a 10-point margin in favour of the Falcons. As a designated kicker for Mooroolbark, Sutherland runs towards the defensive back pocket. His opposing 27, Mitchiner, got the spoil away and forced it over the line. 70 out from the Lilydale goal, eastern side of Tormore Reserve. Let's head boundary side, Ray Baird.
Look, I wish they'd bring the ball over this side, mate. I'm getting sick of standing on my toes. All I can see is heads over the other side of the ground.
Doesn't help when you leave your glasses at home either, Raymond.
Found them, Brash found them.
Can't see down. Well, I don't know how that works. Anyway, Moussard barged his way through. The kick goes up towards the half-forward line, almost a strong mark taken out there for Lilydale, but diving on it, Aitken just to hold the ball up across the half-forward line for Mooroolbark. They'll be happy with that one, the Mustangs. They trail by 10 points. It's 12 minutes into this third term. They call it the premiership quarter. Who's going to stand up? Knox certainly did that against Donny East yesterday. Big sticks, Grattan Stevens goes after it. Lilydale, numbers at the fall, the ball charging through there. McNay couldn't quite trap it. He was nicely held up there by a Jordan, and will once again have a bounce 75 metres out from the Mooroolbark goals.
Mooroolbark just haven't been able to get any run and carry in the last 5 minutes at all.
High throws it up. Slattery came charging through, couldn't quite trap it. Strong tackle by McManus and Noosa. Double team effort, and once again we'll have a bounce just outside the centre square here. It's still just forward for Mooroolbark. Higher throws it up now. Big fist over the top there by Mitchiner. Ball hits the deck. Strong tackle by DePace. And we'll have another bounce. A few stoppages in the last few moments. Just waiting for this game to break open a bit in this third term. It was pretty exciting stuff in the first half, and then now DePace on the right boot kicks it forward. What a sensational mark by Preston. He can just do no wrong, this man up forward for Lilydale today, or wherever he's moving himself up towards the wing, but he'll go back and have a ping for his second goal of the afternoon, and what an important one this is. This could stretch the lead to 16 points, guys.
Yeah, he's had a terrific game, Preston. That was a great contested mark, and Mooroolbark will be really disappointed with that because they looked a little bit likely, turned the ball over, and Preston now.
Well, we're right behind him here. We can watch it go home. That is straight as a die over the goal umpire's head it goes. Preston has 2 and Lilydale have 8 as we cross the 14-minute mark of this third term. 8-6-54 to 5-8-38. Lilydale, they've opened the stronger in this second half.
Certainly have. 16-point margin in a game that has been relatively close. It wouldn't want to get too much further out, I wouldn't have thought, from Mooroolbark's point of view.
And again, it was another clearance from Lilydale, and they've been well on top in this quarter in that area. Look, Lilydale were 4 goals in front in the first quarter, so we know Mooroolbark can come back, but they wouldn't want to get too far further behind at this stage.
Led by 23 points at quarter time, Lilydale. They're 16 points up now, but it's the Mustangs with the clearance towards centre half forward. Giorgio flew high, couldn't take the mark. Hager at the bottom of the pack got the hand pass away. Still a chance for McManus. Loops it over the top to his teammate in Roth on the left foot. Swings it back, swings it back. It's a goal to the Mustangs. How about that for a reply? A fantastic goal, a vibro contender. Lilydale now have their lead cut to 10 points. It's the Falcons 8-6-54, Mooroolbark 6-8-44. That's Roth's second of the afternoon. 15 minutes gone, third term. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
And that was a crucial goal. That's the one they needed to stem the flow, and they've done it. Some nice handball there to get the ball out, and that was a beautiful shot for goal, that one.
Cross down boundary side to Ray Baird.
Yeah, look, James McManus, he's working at the centre clearances. It was him that handballed the ball out. Look, he's been fantastic the whole game.
One of the dirtier players on the ground too, and I mean that mud-wise. It's the umpire to restart it now. And And we have a ball up in the middle over the top there. That was too easy that time there by Mitchener. Created the space there for Horsley. Got the little handball out wide. He was looking for Batty. Just couldn't quite trap it. Slattery's right on his hammer. Batty goes after it again. Gave the little don't argue. Did really well then. Got the handball. Then got it back again on the left boot. Up towards centre half forward. Just couldn't quite trap the football that time. Lilydale still have the numbers. Looping handball out wide. Here's Morrison. He gets it away to his teammate. Here's Burston who slams it home. He just knew it was going through the big sticks. And Lilydale get the quick answer.
I tell you what, you don't want to be critical, but cutting on the ground, when this ball went to ground, he should have won it. And he was really half-hearted going into the contest. And bang, goal.
And they were just outnumbered there. When he went to the contest, it was a 2-on-1. And the entire time, Lilydale had the extra +1 player out there, and Burnston ended up being on the end of it. But you're right, cutting going to ground wasn't good.
So let's hear boundary side, Ray Baird.
Look, football can be a funny game, boys. We've had 15 minutes of nasty contested football, and then all of a sudden, in the next minute and a half, bang, 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 the game split open again.
Oh.
Nasty.
Yeah, I know. I like that descriptive term. Lilydale 9-6-60, Mooroolbark 6-8-44. We're halfway through this intriguing third term in the Choose Tap Division 2 semi-final. It's a knockout final. Stevens wins the tap and roves his own footy, and it's the Mustangs winning the centre clearance through Craig Smith. Sends it high, probing kick inside the 50. Good spoil from Carswell at the back for the Falcons. Forces it over the line, bounces onto the top of a ute, and we'll have a ball in 45 out from the Mustangs goal.
Even though he hasn't won all the tap-outs, Stevens back into the centre has certainly helped them the last 5 minutes with Mooroolbark.
He's been a better matchup, I think, on Mitchener, hasn't he?
I would agree.
So the ball in. Mitchener on this occasion wins the tap. Good tackle effected by Craig Smith, and the ball's going nowhere. We'll have a bounce. 50 out from Mooroolbark's goal.
I think this is just about the margin that Mooroolbark will be okay with going in at three-quarter time. They don't want it to be any greater. They'd certainly love it to be short, and there's no doubt about that. Kick smothered. Well done there by McManus, and no one's getting clear there. So we'll have a bounce about 75 metres out from the Mooroolbark goal line. Stevens got the knockdown that time, Soupy, but to no avail. Right there was Richard Wiles. For Lilydale, he was quickly trapped by McManus, and we'll have another bounce. By throws it up. Knock goes to the advantage there of Lilydale, and off to the races there was Batty. He did really well there on the left boot. Squeezed to kick up towards the wing position where the mark was almost taken by Koga, but he was able to take off anyway and then kicked it wide. Out of bounds on the full inside forward 50. Cutting now for Mooroolbark is the recipient. So he'll send the ball back along the wing position, straight over the top there of DePace, but he had support in the back spot there, and the Lilydale go forward once again, but nobody's across that centre half forward line, but a free kick has been paid there to Horsley for perhaps a little bit of holding. Horsley winds up on the left, inside forward 50. Preston used his body well. Will the ball stay alive? It can't. Running after it. Like he was in a 100-metre sprint was Corey Burnston, and over the boundary line it goes. A left forward pocket out here for Lilydale. What can they conjure here from this stoppage? They currently lead this game by 16 points, 19 minutes gone in the third term. Stevens had the front spot. He knocked it down. A lot of players surround themselves in this football, cutting little handball over the top, and now the ball's about 40 metres out still from the Lilydale goal line. Mooroolbark just trying to work themselves out here as the clearing kick goes out towards the half-back line.
So the Falcons will move it forward on the left half forward line with the intercept mark. Long ball towards full forward, but the relieving mark is taken in the Mooroolbark defence by Ward, who'll chip it out wide. Mark taken in the left back pocket by Sean McManus. It doesn't resemble his Fremantle namesake. Kick towards the left half back. Wasn't a very good one. Intercepted by Class. Henry sends a classy kick in the Burnston direction, and he can't bring it back far enough. Only a minor score. So Lilydale move on to 9-7-61. Mooroolbark 6-8-44. We're in the time on in the third term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Let's head boundary side.
Yeah, the Mooroolbark players just weren't switched on quick enough then with the switch of play. They needed to push across and present some options, and they just had nowhere to go up the line.
How far do you think Lilydale have to be in front at three-quarter time? And Mooroolbark 6-9-45, trail Lilydale 9-7-61. 21 and a half minutes gone, third term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Yes, well, if they can score a goal in the next couple of minutes, then they'll have had probably a reasonable quarter, Mooroolbark, considering that Lilydale probably dominated possession for the quarter.
Well, they did kick one goal, which probably helped them against the flow about 10 minutes ago. So the ball currently 60 metres out, or 70 metres out from the Mooroolbark goal. On the outer side of Tormore Reserve, where it's been for most of the afternoon. Worsley got the hand pass away. The Falcons move it forward again as Healy marks on centre wing. He has the overlap runner. Didn't affect the hand pass very well on that occasion. Buttering up there is Birdston. On hands and knees. Got it, picked it up underneath his feet and kicks it towards the left half forward position. Flying high there for the mark was Preston. Couldn't quite take it. It was a good spoil at the back.
He got the free.
He's got the free kick.
Might have got it for chopping or in the back, I'm not sure.
There you go. So the umpire giving him the benefit of the doubt. Preston's kick into the hot spot wasn't a good one.
Well, it wasn't a mark.
Set up perfectly for Roth, and he takes the mark. And the Mustangs will try and move it forward. The mark wasn't paid to Jordan on that occasion. Got the hand pass away. Chips in the direction of cutting. Went through his hands, slipped through his fingers. And as a result, Lilydale didn't affect the turnover, but they fired respite 70 metres out from their goal.
Real lack of composure there from Mooroolbark, but having said that, the pressure very good from Lilydale.
So the ball in once again. 70 out from the Lilydale goal. Eastern side of Tormore Reserve as the sun shines valiantly through the clouds. It's on the half-forward line for Lilydale, but moving through the pack, the Mooroolbark players will try and work it forward. Springing hand pass in the direction of Atkinson. Gives a big don't argue and provides the hand pass to Musa. He was tackled as he tried to get his kick, and claimed in the tackle there was Belly in the midst of Klepp, and we'll have a bounce right in front of our broadcast position on centre wing.
So the umpire to ball it up now, going after it there. Morrison got the knockdown a little quicker around the body there by Bernston. I reckon he's been almost the best player on the ground today. Across the half-forward line now, bouncing in the favour there of Lilydale, linking handball up into the middle of the ground where Healy has some space. Healy goes forward. The kick couldn't quite hit the target there. Swinging around there, Preston. This way, that way, handball over the top.
Play.
This is okay here from Lilydale, but Mooroolbark do have the numbers at the back. They've got the support, and the ball hits the deck, and a free kick has been paid to the Mustangs at the last line of defence, so that was okay where Ward took it and got the kick away, and now they'll use the far side of Tormore Reserve.
Indeed they do, with a lot of run. Kick towards centre wing was well intercepted. He was on hands and knees when he took that mark, Carswell. Almost a sitting duck, but it fell on his chest. Takes it on centre wing, looks towards centre half forward. Morrison flew high, couldn't quite take the mark, may have been chopping at the arms. McManus gets the hand pass back for Mooroolbark. Ball still in dispute, and a free kick's been paid for holding on that occasion. Going the way of the Mustangs, McManus will be the recipient.
Oh, wouldn't they love a goal here, Mooroolbark?
Indeed they would. Chip pass as they try and orchestrate an attack forward through Belly. Belly chips it short in the Atkinson direction. He marks on centre wing, off a step. Looks towards right half forward. Is it a free kick for a pay for the push in the back? No, it's not. Lilydale can move it forward off the half back line. A long ball in the direction there of the intended target in low. He was well tagged by Sean McManus. McManus at the fall of the ball will paddle it over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in on centre wing. Eastern side of Tormore Reserve, and a three-quarter time score. Heathmont leading by 8 points over Templestowe. 5-9-39 to 4-7-31 out at Central Reserve.
It could be a break.
Picked off the play, and it'll be a shot on goal right on the teeth of three-quarter time. James Belly's the recipient. He's 45 out from goal.
Another tough kick though, isn't it?
Oh, especially from there, it's always difficult.
So James Belly's 45 metres out, 45-degree angle, as the Brits said. It's into the breeze, but it's on.
Here we go.
Three-quarter time siren. This to reduce the margin to 10 points. It'll probably be even keel at three-quarter time, given the wind advantage.
This is Vibro goal a day if he slams this through.
Belly from 45 out. It's drifted off to the right. Sneaks in for a behind, so Mooroolbark move on to 6-10-46. They trail Lilydale 9-7-61 by 15 points at the last change. And we've got a game on our hands in the Division 2 semi-final.
It's all happening out here at Tormore Reserve. A great call by you, Damien Watson, in that third term, as always. Major goal kickers on the ground. Lilydale, Brad Lowe has two, as does Andrew Preston. What a game he is having. And Jordan Roth, 2 majors for the Mooroolbark Football Club. Only 30 minutes to go in this Division 2 final out here today. One side will go through and live to fight another day, while another side will be looking forward to Mad Monday, but not really looking forward to it at the same time. Let's have a breakout here on 98.1 Radio Eastern, and of course streaming live around the globe, EFL.org.au. Doncaster are taking on Blackburn. They hold a slender lead, while Heathmont are doing the job on Tempe, but also only by a narrow margin also. It's all happening with 30 minutes to play right across the eastern suburbs in the Choose Tap final series. Hope you're enjoying it today, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Go Zebras! Calm the Dockers.
Calm the Eagles.
Up the Bulls.
Tobin Brothers Funerals, serving all supporters in the Eastern Football League since 1934. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to EFL.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best. A new time and a new team, driving you home in 2016. Join a brand new lineup for The Huddle as the gang take a light-hearted look at the Eastern Football League every Friday night. More importantly, the team will reveal the ins and outs for this week's round of matches. The Huddle, 4:30 to 6:30 every Friday evening, as you love it local.
How would you like to be celebrated?
I think a barbie in the backyard would be nice.
I would go to the beach.
Possibly a costume party.
It sounds silly, but I'd like people to bring their pets.
I'd have a karaoke machine.
What's coming to my head is an ice sculpture.
Lots of cakes.
Cheesecake.
Lemon meringue pie.
And probably every flavour of ice cream ever.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, they know that every life is unique, and they think that every celebration should be too. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back. It's three-quarter time here in the game of the day here. First semi-final in Division 2. And it's Lilydale, 9-7-61. Leading Mooroolbark, 6 goals, 10-46. Goal kickers once again for Lilydale, 2 each to Lowe and Preston. And singles to Wilson, Burnson, Lockie Koga, McNay and Baker. Whilst for Mooroolbark, their leading goal kicker is Jordan Roth with 2, and singles to Craig Smith, Slattery, Downey and Beddoes, and Brett Beston. Where do you think Mooroolbark, can they get back into the contest and win this game?
Not sure. They're going to have to get certainly the first goal of this last quarter, that's for sure. But it was Lilydale's quarter, wasn't it? They really dominated. And Mooroolbark, well, from here on in, it's hard to see Mooroolbark getting up, but stranger things have happened. Bernstein was fantastic for Lilydale in that quarter, and he really had a fantastic quarter. Mitchin has been good on the ruck, and I think from here, I'm probably going to go for Lilydale. I think they'll probably get home.
And with all the stats that stats that matter from Choose Tap, over to you, Soupy Campbell. Tell us what the tail of the tape is after three-quarter time.
In the third quarter, Lilydale had 6 hit-outs to advantage to 0. They won the clearances 14-8. They won the contested possessions 41-30. But Mooroolbark won the uncontested possessions 48-33. Lilydale with 14 inside 50s, just 8 for Mooroolbark. I think with the wind advantage, we're in for a cracking finish.
Brett, going boundary side, Ray Baird, or?
Yeah, it's Tim here with Ben Nagel. You spoke at quarter time about momentum swings. Mooroolbark obviously got on top there in that second quarter, but you were able to, I guess, get the momentum back a bit. It's turned into real arm wrestle, hasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Look, for us, it was just identifying that it's a finals game. There's good teams. Both teams are great teams, so there's going to be those shifts in momentum, just not to panic, and we'll get our turn again. So
against the win this quarter, what was the message there at three-quarter time?
Oh, look, just to defend hard on the outer side if we can, and then just play our way. For 3 quarters have been terrific, so we just got to keep playing our style and our way, and hopefully we get the result.
Thanks for your time. Good luck.
Tim Fitzsimons down there with Coach Ben Eagle and Brett Davidson. Can Lilydale afford to play tempo footy and just try and deny Mooroolbark possession in this last quarter, or do they still really do need to attack, even as they are kicking against with probably what is a probably 2-goal breeze?
Well, they need to attack because, we're talking about the fact that what have Mooroolbark got to do, but at quarter time we had the same situation. We had Lilydale 23 points up and we were wondering what Mooroolbark could do, and Mooroolbark came out and played a pretty good quarter of football. So we know they can do it. I know the breeze is going to have an impact. We said at the quarter time it was going to be an 8-goal game, so it very well could be a 10, 12-goal game wins it.
Ray Baird on the boundary.
Yeah, look, Paris said that, look, the wind's not going to win this game for them. He said he expects his side to kick at least 5 goals to win this game. What he wants them to do, they don't want to get locked up on the other forward pocket over on the other side of the ground. So when they're coming forward, he wants them to come just this side slide of the corridor. And he said, and not only that, if the big guys take marks around the ground, you've got to have runners running past for the handball.
And quickly, 3-quarter time at Ringwood. It's Doncaster 8-6 leading Blackburn 6-2, and 3-quarter time out at Central Reserve and Heathmont 5-9-39, leading Templestowe 4-7-31. Damien Watson, take it away.
Final quarter of this knockout final in the Division 2 Choose Tap final series. Lilydale by 15 points, and the Tap has won there. Slattery in the bottom of the pack. He competed in the ruck as well. Forces a secondary bounce in the middle.
They need to win the contested ball, get it out and run Mooroolbark like they did in the second quarter.
Tap won by Mitchener, as he has done for most of the afternoon. Hand pass from Klepp was ill-directed, looking for his teammate in Healy, who retrieved it. Hand pass comes back to Horsley. His handball was intercepted, however, and moving through is Craig Smith. Sends a probing kick to the top of the square. Stevens almost held the mark in a contested possession. Chance now for Kennedy. For the Falcons, they'll clear it through a chain of hand passes. Di Franceschi involved in the chain, and the kick has come forward. Mark taken by Egan, the intercept for Mooroolbark. He's 70 metres out from their goal. He's got his teammate in Musa out wide. Elects to go longer with a high ball inside the 50. Giorgio was claimed high, didn't get paid the free kick. McManus is gang tackled just inside the 50. Will have a bounce 45 out from the Mustangs' goal.
Right on cue as he was tackled. I was just about to say Giorgio needs to get into the game again. He's just sort of drifted away, so if he can get back into it, he's one of the keys to Mooroolbark possibly winning this game.
It's been an X factor. Mitchener wins the tap for the ball there, cutting. And McManus as well, standing over the pack. Will have another bounce 50 out from the Mooroolbark goal.
Slattery coming off with a sore ankle, which could be a bit not great for Mooroolbark, because he's been pretty good today.
Yeah, particularly since quarter time. Winning the clearance out of the pack there is DePace for Lilydale. Sends a high ball towards centre field. In the front position is Bernston, who's been great all day, and he's going to be paid the mark. Fantastic effort in a contested situation. Bernston looks to centre half forward. A don't argue, nice fend off there from Klepp. Couldn't quite bring the ball with him. It's on half forward. No free kick for in the back to Bernston, and as a consequence, Cutting can move it away for Mooroolbark with the hand pass, and they're off and running on centre wing, trying to break away unsuccessfully. There is Sutherland, and as a result, it's going to be a free kick for holding the ball to be taken by Morrison. Wasting no time, gets the hand pass to Bernston, who's been excellent. Kick inside 50, looking for Wilson. Falls over his head. Musa, he's under pressure on the last line of defence. Went without it. No free kick. Still a chance for Lowe. Couldn't quite snap it round his shoulder. Musa was there for the intercept. We'll have a throw in 40 out from the Lilydale goal.
Well, he can consider himself very lucky there, Musa. He got dispossessed of the football. Slattery came off a bit ginger down there, Ray Baird. How's he looking?
Yeah, look, that wind's blowing across the ground now, boys. If you look at those flags, it's blowing towards the mountains.
Ask a question, don't get an answer as the umpire throws the ball back in now as it comes out. Jordan took it on the right boot, drives it into the middle of the ground where Giorgio takes the mark from Mooroolbark. This is good play. Straight football. They've got the breeze. Giorgio thumps it every bit of 60 metres. Stevens, he had the back spot. Who's going to win the foot race here? Bouncing over the back there. Tap towards the goal square. Stevens, he went after it again. The big man Sticks has put it through the big sticks. And Mooroolbark, well, they are coming, aren't they? 3 minutes in to this final term. That was a magnificent second effort there by the big man. 3 minutes gone now on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard in this final term, and it's a 9-point lead to Lilydale. Game is officially on, and it's been on all day, Damo.
It has. It's going to be interesting.
And I'm going to say that's the value of someone like a Giorgio. Like, most blokes can kick the ball 45 or 50, but he's kicked it 60 metres, cleared the space, ball ran on and created a goal out of nothing.
Early in the final term, it is Doncaster leading Blackburn by 8 points, 9-6-60 to 8-4, 52. It's all happening around the eastern suburbs.
Kick towards centre half forward for Lilydale. Preston flew high, couldn't take the mark. Baker, the little terrier at the bottom of the pack, wasn't taken high. Max Ward is in the thick of it as well. Umpire calls for a bounce, 55 out from the Falcons' goal, but they got the Mustangs on their back. The winner, of course, to take on Doncaster East in the prelim next week. The losers' season is officially over. Healy couldn't get an effective kick out. Quick clearing kick to Batty. Sends it long to the top of the goal square. Spoil comes forward and Ward can clear here for Mooroolbark. Jordan back to Ward in the back pocket. Looks towards centre wing over the head of the intended targeting Craig Smith, and as a consequence Batty can move it forward, wheels onto the right foot, deliberate chip kick was excellent at centre half forward, and Marks has been taken by Burnston. He can go back from 55 out, but against the breeze, probably beyond him.
Blackburn have kicked 2 goals and lead by 4 points, 64 to 60, 24-minute mark of the final term.
Oh, wow, what a turnaround. And it could be a big turnaround here, but Burnston can straighten things up for Lilydale. The ball won't quite make the distance, falls into the forward pocket, but a good relieving mark has been taken there by Shaw McManus for the Mustangs. So McManus will clear it here for the Mustangs. Looks towards the left half-back position. It was intercepted at the end. Lowe was in the thick of the action. It's kept in play. Burnston round his body to full forward. Almost slapped through for a behind, trying to keep it in play there was Preston. He was unsuccessful. A minor score. Lilydale 9-8-62, lead Mooroolbark 7-10-52, 5 minutes into the final term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Geez, don't know what he was thinking there, Sean McManus. That was really dangerous. They dodged a bullet there, Mooroolbark.
They certainly did. 3 tight games across the Eastern Football League. In Divisions 1, 2 and 3 today. As the spearing pass comes in, that was good play. Mooroolbark, well, they've just coughed it up a little bit. Hammond got the handball back. They're just outside their defensive 50, just poked the ball up towards the Atkinson direction. Couldn't quite take the mark at the fall. The ball, Horsley got the handball away, might receive a free kick. Got the handball away to Healy. It'll come back to Horsley on the left boot. In the middle, he goes. He spots up his teammate in Batty. Winds around on the left boot, but just couldn't spot up a target. Getting back and taking a strong mark there was Paul Hager on the left boot now. He'll use the grandstand side. He kicks it out towards the wing position. Underneath it was Kennedy for Lilydale. Couldn't take the mark, went after it again. He was gang-barrel tackled by James McManus into the pitch, and we'll have a bounce right in front of us here in the broadcast position.
I tell you what, you know you've been tackled and McManus tackles you, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, if they don't win this game, Mooroolbark, James McManus can hold his head high.
Mitchener got the knockdown that time, came out to Musa, who just scrambled a kick. It was pretty clever in the end to gain that 25 metres, and up it goes and over the boundary line and out, right near the Mooroolbark bench.
Chaos ball, isn't it?
See Paris Harvey and Nugget down there. 62 plays 52. It's a 10-point ball game. Well done there by Mitchener. He got the knockdown straight into the arms of Horsley. Couldn't get clear possession on the football. Going after it there was Wiles, who put his body on the line and received the free kick. It was Tiggy Touchwood, but umpire, he has the final say. The kick goes in towards the middle of the ground. It was a risky kick. A nice spoil in the end there by Cutting, but mopped up nicely by Burnston for Lilydale. Inside forward 50. He goes, getting back McManus. Almost pulled it in with the one arm. Well done there by Coker. This way, that way. Square to kick up. Just about 30 metres out from goal. Going after it there was Baker. He was heavily met. He had teammates there in support. Preston got the handball away. It's a really hot football here. McNay gets it away. Lilydale, they're in the forward pocket here. Nicely done there by Bally. Got the handball away from Mooroolbark, and they're out of that danger zone now. It's about 70 metres out from goal. They'll want the paint. Klepp tried to keep the ball in. Strong tackle there by Aitken over the boundary line. It goes. It's all happening here. 8 minutes gone in the final term. 62 plays 52. Lilydale have the lead, Damo.
It's only a slender one in the context of this game. 10 points the margin, but Mooroolbark have the breeze. Throw in shoes. 70 out from the Lilydale goal. Falls to ground level. Jordan pickpockets his opponent and brings it away through the corridor. Pat touches it on the ground, gets the hand pass inboard, and away go Mooroolbark through Musa. Musa takes a bounce, hands it over to his teammate in belly, loops it over the top towards centre half forward. Well taken by Roth, evades a couple of tackles. The kick wasn't too flash. Val McManus swings it round his body towards full forward. In front is Giorgio, couldn't quite take it, but he regains it and he snaps a ripper. Trent Giorgio. We needed to say he should lift, and he has, and it's a vibro goal of the day contender. And we're back to 4 points. Mooroolbark 8-10-58, trailing Lilydale 9-8-62, almost 10 minutes gone. Final term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Let's hear boundary side, Tim Fitzsimons.
Yeah, Ben Slattery's back on, so he's right to go.
And just an update at the Division 1 game, Blackburn versus Doncaster. There's obviously been a delay. Sorry for the hype, but the three-quarter time score is Blackburn leading by 4 points, 64 to 60. It was the 24-minute mark of the third term when I gave that. So thanks very much to Davis Harrigan and Gus McLeod out there today, keeping us up to date. But there's clearly been a delay, so we'll keep you right across that final score, right until the death knock here. But it's all happening out at Tormore Reserve. Mooroolbark looking to go forward once again. A looping handball out towards the centre square. Musa did a good work there. McManus laid a tackle. It came out towards the Jordan direction. Lilydale, they had the numbers. The big man there in Mitchener got the handball away. Here's Burnston on the right boot up towards the half forward line. Sensational Wilson. He took it and then he took off. Get the handball away. Well done there by Hammond. It was a great tackle, but he got the kick away, and they've got the numbers here. Here's Morrison. Squares it up magnificently. Lilydale. Well, just when you thought they were Gonski, Horsley, he put himself in position, 40 metres out from goal, directly in front.
Look, it was a great play, but I think they've been a little bit lucky. I think they were lucky not to give away 2 or 3 free kicks here. I thought that was holding the ball across that far side. He was tackled before he went around, then went round twice. But, way to numbers, this is a crucial goal.
They lead by 4. Horsley comes in now, deliberate in his approach. The goal umpire does not move. Goal to the Lilydale Football Club on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 11 minutes into this final term, and they stretch their lead back out to 10 points, 10-8-68 to 8-10-58. What a game it is out here, and of course it went to extra time in the reserves out of the Division 1 game. That's where the extra time has come from.
Every time Mooroolbark get close, they just can see that next goal, don't they? They just they get a bit of a sniff, but unfortunately they just can't get that next one. But,
and I'll tell you what, I think it's just about every time that's happened, Burnston stepped up and with another quality disposal.
Yeah, he's been outstanding, hasn't he?
Horsley's answering goal gives the Falcons a 10-point buffer. They win the clearance again for McNay. Got the hand pass back to Burnston, who's been excellent. Kicks laterally towards centre wing, but it's well intercepted by Roth. They're on the half-forward line. Hand pass from Slattery in the direction of Jordan. Jordan moves one way, then the other, and then spears the pass down the throat of his intended target there in Aaron Bedoz, and he can go back and have a shot for his second.
That was excellent, wasn't it? It's, I thought he was going around to try and get onto his left, but...
So Aaron Bedoz will be shooting from 45 metres out, 45-degree angle. We're right behind it on the live stream.
Oh,
it's coming back. There's an answer. That's an answer if you want one. Mooroolbark back to 4 points. They're 9-10-64, trailing Lilydale 10-8-68. 12 minutes gone, final term. Division 2 finals time on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
You feel like Mooroolbark have got the momentum a little bit, but just every now and again, Lilydale are able to bob up, so it's still a bit too hard to pick who's going to win this one.
It really is.
Toss of the
goal
coin.
for goal, isn't it?
Well,
it's been a
back
tight
into
day,
the middle.
In all 3 games.
Hoping to get a score through from the Templestowe-Heathmont game as that ticks down to our time on here. I know Wayne Brasher will help us out with that one. Stevens went up against Mitchener. We'll give that one to Mitchener, charging through there. McManus got the handball out wide. That was okay. Jordan had time to trap it. Stop prop on the left boot, then just poke it up towards the half-forward line. Big fist over the top there by Kennedy. That was okay. Slattery's back on the ground. He must be okay. Not that Ray Baird told us anything otherwise. And over the boundary line she goes for a boundary throw-in. Pye to bring this ball back in. So 80 metres out from the Mooroolbark goal line. Can they hit the front? They trail by 4 points. Stevens versus Mitchener over the back there. Nicely done by Jordan. Put his body on the line. Over the top of it again, James McManus. And we will have a bounce.
He's just been incredible, James McManus. He really has had the game of his life today. He's been just brilliant.
Apparently a massive pep talk by Andrew Tranquilli at three-quarter time. Can the Sharks get over the burners today as the handball from Mooroolbark goes up towards the Hassan direction? Couldn't quite trap the football. Now Lilydale, they have the numbers linking up well. Here's Wiles, gets it away. Here's Burnston on the right boot, drives it up towards the half-forward line. Nobody's home, and he's pushed it too wide. Out of bounds on the full it goes.
So Ward will be the relieving kicker for Mooroolbark on the left half back position. Looks towards centre wing, down the line. They trail by 4 points to Mustangs. No one can get an effective kick out, but it's McManus at the fall of the ball. Read it well. Hand pass to Stevens. Onto the running Musa. The little excitement machine. Stops, props, wheels onto the right foot. Kicks inside 50.
Oh,
Hills couldn't take it, but a man that could certainly was Grant Hill. He's taken the relieving mark for Lilydale in defence. So Hill looks towards the eastern wing. It's going to be chopped off by Stevens, and we paid the mark. So 70 out, Mooroolbark are pressing. Stevens waiting to retrieve the ball here. Lilydale can get the numbers back and congest that Mooroolbark forward line. So Stevens, Mooroolbark have the breeze at their backs in this final term. They'll go inside 50. The chip pass wasn't a very good one, and as a consequence, Burnston can intercept for Lilydale. He's kicked towards centre wing. On the bounce finds Mitchener. Weaves his way out of trouble. Back it comes the hand pass to DePace. He was tackled and holding the ball, says the umpire. So Mooroolbark will have another chance to make a foray forward inside 50.
I think both teams will be disappointed because they both had clear options there and made some mistakes with their clearances.
Josh Hammond looks out wide to Stevens. He marks 70 out from goal, and we're back where we were 2 minutes ago. Stevens, 15 minutes gone, final term. Mooroolbark trail by 4 points. They're working it forward methodically. Slattery, the chip pass inside 50, finds Aaron Beddoes, and he can go back and shoot for his third, and he's second in a minute.
Well, you're right. I think that was exactly the same play, but this time they managed to hit the target.
So Aaron Beddoes will be shooting from about 45 metres out. He's on an acute angle.
His last kick was spot on.
Well, this to put Mooroolbark in front. High stakes, Beddoes. He's got it! The Mooroolbark fans go up. They've hit the front. The Mustangs move on to 10-10-70, leading Lilydale 10-8-68, a 2-point ball game, 15.5 minutes gone, final term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
This is the first time, I think they hit the front briefly in the second quarter, didn't they? So this is really only the second time they've been in front all day, but now we talked about it. They had the opportunity to come home with a bit of a breeze. They've done that. They've run well. It's now an opportunity to see if Lilydale can counter-attack.
16-point lead to Blackburn early in the final term out there against the Doncaster Football Club. Time to restart things here again. Stevens got the knockdown straight into the arms there of Craig Smith. He arched the back. He goes inside forward 50. He poked it up. Beddoes was there. He got a handle on it. Knocked down to ground level. Here's Hager. He's quickly manned, and a good strong tackle there by D. Franceschi just to hold the ball up. But it's 35 metres out from the Mooroolbark goal line.
It would have been better going long instead of chipping it short then, I think.
Pye throws it up. Oh, there's every bit of 20 players around this football. Who's going to get the spills here? Putting his head over the ball there was McManus. Umpire said it was play on, charging through Slattery. I'll tell you what. Maybe a little bit stiff there. I thought there was James McManus. Certainly head over the football and copped one, but nonetheless, play goes on. Stevens got the knockdown. He had the front spot. Good, strong tackle in there by Class Henry and co. And we will have a bounce 45 metres out from the Mooroolbark goal line. 17 minutes gone in the final term. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. 98.1 Radio Eastern is streaming live around the globe. EFL.org.au. The kick goes into the middle of the ground. Sean McManus takes the mark. They're 2 kicks from home. He knows he's an experienced player. He wants to roast it inside forward 50. Surely that's a bit of holding there on Giorgio. It might not matter because Belly on the right boot. No, it's brought back, and it will be a free kick to Giorgio, and they'll take that as well because he's only got a 45-degree angle. Even if that, it was as obvious as anything, and he'll go back and try to increase the lead to 8 points for the Mooroolbark Football Club.
We talked about at three-quarter time that he needed to stand up and do something, and He's had a good quarter.
He's kicked one and now putting it through for a second, and he takes off with a Scotty Demetrio celebration-like goal. And look at them get around him as well. Mooroolbark on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Well, they're up by 8 points now, 11-10-76. Lilydale 10-8-68, 18 minutes gone, final term.
I tell you what, sorry Dave, momentum's a great thing in footy, and you can really feel the momentum now switching the way of Mooroolbark. They've really got their tails up.
They have, and I tell you what, if they get over the line, you've got to give a lot of credit to Paris. You know, he's rocked up without Tulevski. He's changed his forward line, and I think it's worked. If you look at it, Stevens, Beddoes and Giorgio have all been great contributors up there for them.
Giorgio's second goal gives Mooroolbark an 8-point buffer. Now the onus and the questions are on Lilydale. Back in the middle, Mitchell won the tap. He's been excellent in the ruck all afternoon. Craig Smith's been a good clearance worker in this final term. Couldn't win it on that occasion. He affects the tackle. We'll have a secondary bounce in the middle.
They just got to keep playing the same way they have, though, Mooroolbark now. Just keep attacking, move the ball forward as quick as possible, and the game is theirs.
19 minutes gone, final term. It's Mooroolbark by 8 points. Lilydale with the clearance, however, through McNay. High ball inside the 50. It's all Mooroolbark, however. And Ward's taken a one-hander, the little man. On the last line of defence, that's a crucial mark.
Another contender for Brash's blazer.
Ward chips it into the back pocket. It was a dangerous kick, but found the intended target in the end. It looks as if Beddoes has moved into defence. Sends a high ball towards left half back. Giorgio will fly high. Good spoil at the back for Lilydale by Mitchiner. It was a pinball machine. Good tackle effected by Morrison for Lilydale, but it's Mooroolbark winning it through Craig Smith. Hacks it towards half forward. The spoil affected there behind the intended target at Egan. Forces it to ground level.
Well done.
And Lilydale have the numbers across centre wing. Hand pass missed the target in class. Henry looks inboard laterally, and they'll move it forward through the corridor. The Falcons chip pass towards centre half forward. Finds the target in Morrison out in front. The big Jukes. Morrison inside 50, and the mark's been taken by Lowe, and he can go back and have a crucial shot at goal from 45 metres out directly in front, but the breeze is against him.
Unfortunately, the contest by Hassan out on the far side wasn't good enough for Mooroolbark, and Lilydale were able to move the ball and transition it across quite easily.
And you've got to give credit to Di Franceschi, who had that second effort in that contest as well to break away.
Without a doubt.
So Bradlow to bring Lilydale back to within 2 points. He's directly in front, 45 metres out. We've got a contest at Tormore Reserve. Lilydale now move on to 11-8-74. They're trailing Mooroolbark 11-10-76. 21 minutes gone. That's Lowe's third on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Gee, just when you think the game might be over and suddenly Lilydale come back, it's just been one of those days, hasn't it?
I said 12 goals would win it, so we might be getting close.
Well, that would certainly be a special comment if that was the case, wouldn't it? I tell you what, Blackburn are going to take some sort of beating. They lead by 22 points. Just almost halfway through the final term out there at Jubilee Park.
Be pretty hard to control Gus, wouldn't it, after that?
Oh, I think he's lost 5 kilos in sweat in the last half an hour as the umpire throws the ball up now. Mitchiner got the knockdown. Well done there by Musa, though, for Mooroolbark. Slammed it on his boot around the body. That was good body work there by Bally. Good tackle. But even better tackle there by Bally. He was unrewarded. The kick goes forward now for Mooroolbark. It scoots out wide. Roth has the front spot. He traps a football. He was brought to ground. It's very close to the boundary line there. Grant Hill will see it over and out, and we'll have a boundary throw in 40 metres out from the Mooroolbark goal line. They lead by 2 points, 21. Make that 22 minutes gone now in the final term. Umpire to bring the ball back in. Mitchiner, he got the knockdown straight into the arms there of Hill, who was gang tackled, couldn't quite release the football, and we will have another bounce. So Mooroolbark will be happy it's down their end. They are kicking with the breeze. It certainly died down in this final term. So it's even Steven as Jordan just banged it on his boot. Who's going to potentially take a mark? It was knocked away there by Stevens that time. Hager was there just to swing it around on the left boot. Just slams it in. What a mark! It's been taken. Sean Atkinson, one of the biggest men on the ground. He leapt. He caught a bite of it and he caught it on the deck. Fantastic mark there. And the big man will go back and have a shot on goal from about 50 metres out, almost directly in front.
That was a Bangladeshi slips catch, that one.
Absolutely sensational, that was. So Sean Atkinson.
It's a big kick.
It's huge. 23 minutes tick over on the scoreboard. Atkinson comes in. He sends it goalward and he pushed it to the right-hand side.
Ruckman.
Minus
Don't
score.
let him kick for goal.
It's the result. 3 points is the margin. 77-74. Mooroolbark have the lead. We're into time on, Damien Watson.
Carswell to bring it back into play for Lilydale. They trail by 3 points. He'll move it towards the broadcast wing. It's a 2-on-1 in favour of Mooroolbark. Man in front, Giorgio will be paid. So Giorgio with the intercept mark.
He will thump this 70 metres.
Go towards the boundary line though. He's going to wheel onto the left foot. Send it long to the hot spot, to the top of the goal square. Big Flyers contest. Push in the back. Lilydale free kick. Advantage will be paid. This is their chance as they move it forward. Koga towards Baker at right half back. Takes a good mark. Waste no time. Gets the hand pass away. This is a big play on the outer side. Hand pass in the direction of Batty. He breaks through the tackle. Onto the left foot. Kicks to centre half. Preston! Andrew Preston takes the mark.
He's too far out to score. He's too far out.
Well, he's 55 out against the breeze. They trail by 3 points. 24 minutes gone. Spears the pass inside 50. And the mark's been taken by Brad Lowe, who can go back for number 4 and put Lilydale in front.
Well.
Yeah, I reckon Siren might go.
Don't jinx him, Ray Bear, boundary side.
You turn your minds back to about 10 minutes ago. He kicked one right from this very same spot, boys.
He did too. So Brad Lowe to potentially keep Lilydale season alive from 40 metres out, directly in front. Has it got the carry? No, Preston flew high. Still a chance. It's on the teeth of goal. Wilson will slow it down. We'll have a bounce at the top of the goal square.
That fell 1 metre short. And there was 20 players there to keep the ball alive, and he's only 10 metres out from goal. It's down Lilydale's end, and nearly every player is down there. Stevens got the knockdown. They played for the free kick, Lilydale. Umpires unbecoming. Burston hit the deck. Strong tackle there by Metten so there can't be too long left in this game. Lauren Wood's probably about to drive off the freeway down to the peninsula as it comes in now. Stevens, good, strong tackle. And it's still about 20 metres out from the Lilydale goal line. 25.5 minutes gone. 77 plays 74. Lilydale trail, but it's deep in their forward line. Stephen versus Mitchener. Mitchener got the knockdown. It came out, tried to quickly trap it. There was DePace. Umpires quickly on the scene to bounce this once again.
The key player out here is the Lilydale player. They've got to go and pick him up.
Pye throws it up, stacks on the middle once again. You can just sense that there's going to be stoppage after stoppage. There's no player. Everyone is inside the 50 for Lilydale at the moment. Stevens got it down. A little quick knockout. Musa will be happy just to see it over. Geez, they were hoping for that, weren't they, the Mooroolbark side? And the margin is back to 2 points. 77 plays 75. 26 minutes gone in the final term. This is as good as it gets, Damien Watson.
Oh, no doubt about that. We've had a ripping weekend. Only fitting in the weekend we've had. Week 1 of the Choose Tap final series.
How big is this kicking?
Mooroolbark by 2 points. 26.5 gone. Kick towards centre wing. Big fly at the back. Running after the football there is Roth. Giorgio's kick was smothered. It's in the centre of the ground. Aiken tries to pick it up. He's claimed there by Bernston. Will have a bounce at centre field. It's Mooroolbark by 2 points. 26.5 gone final term. The winner keeps their season alive. The loser's season is over. Atkinson won the tap. Lilydale with the clearance towards centre half forward. Tackled there is Morrison. Falls to ground level. Hand pass was intercepted well there by Hager. Exit towards centre wing. They'd be happy to see the boundary line here, Mooroolbark. Hand pass comes over to Giorgio. It's on centre wing. The corner is gone. Mooroolbark have won it by 2 points. They keep their season alive. Mooroolbark 11-11-77. Lilydale 11-9-75. What a game at Tormore Reserve.
Oh, that's just an amazing finals game, Brett Davidson.
Oh, look, fantastic. And, yeah, we said at three-quarter time that the game wasn't over and that Mooroolbark, if like they did in the second quarter, need to run the ball, and they did. We asked that Giorgio stood up in the last quarter. He did. The 3 talls down forward line stood up and gave them something. So, it had everything. It was a great game of football, and it's disappointing that a team's got to lose. But in this cutthroat finals, that's exactly what has to happen. And I think it was a magnificent coaching performance from Paris Harvey, to be honest. He was, he had the ones that were out. He managed to stand up and still get a winning score out of a team that we couldn't find out where they get their goals from. So great effort. And now they get to face Donny East. And from what I can gather, I don't think Donny East are all that keen on facing Mooroolbark, so it'll be an interesting contest next week.
Will it ever? So Mooroolbark by 2 points over Lilydale. We'll keep you up to date with around the ground scores. Let's head boundary side. Ray Baird is down there.
Yeah, we've got the assistant coach of the Mooroolbark side here, boys. Look, a great final quarter by you guys. You were threatened, and your main players to me stood up in that last quarter. Well, McManus was fantastic all day, but Giorgio and Stevens, it's just their experience.
Yeah, it's really good having those older heads with the younger guys. They did really well. They needed the right times when to hold the ball, where to kick it, but I thought both sides, to be honest, it could have gone either way, so it was a great game.
It was a typical finals game, wasn't it? Really hard at it, players throwing themselves in, not worrying about any injuries or anything, but, it's great to come out winners, particularly in a close game.
Yeah, for sure. Like unfortunately, we had Kid out this week and a couple of injuries during the week, so, look, the boys, it was a proper final, like they had a good crack at each other, and to be honest, either side could have won, so you couldn't say the better side won. I thought both sides played really well today. So.
Now, you mentioned that the Kid was out of the side today. Did that sort of mix up your forward line, what you had planned coming into the game?
Oh, we found out this morning he was out, so we had to make some adjustments early this morning. But to be honest, I know Kid's kicked a lot of goals, but he actually hasn't been our focal point in. I think we've had a pretty good spread throughout the year. But, yeah, look, it mixes up a bit, but a good side will adjust, and I think we're a good side, so, yeah.
All right, thanks anyway, mate. Get in and enjoy the victory.
Yes, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Bob.
Ray Baird down there boundary side with a jubilant Mooroolbark coaching staff, and I think they could sense that they got away with that one. It was a tight contest, but they prevailed by 2 points. What a finish, Brett Davidson.
Oh, it was a great finish. I mean, one of the things that they've done, which they said was, they covered Kit's loss, but it was other areas that were also very good. I thought they really started to get some clean ball from the inside and outside. McManus's last quarter was exceptional. He had a great game, but his last quarter was exceptional. I thought they just worked extremely hard. And, to Lilydale's credit, you can't take anything away from Lilydale too. They were 8 points down, looking down the barrel. They've come back into the breeze and managed to kick goals and nearly get over the line. But look, this is what finals is about, and you've got two teams that are hungry to get to that next stage. Mooroolbark have got there, they've got their next chance, and we'll see what they can come up with next time.
Yes, well, what a finish that was. Mooroolbark, just a reminder, 11-11-77 have defeated Lilydale 11-9-75, and the jubilant players will return to the rooms there for Mooroolbark. They've kept their season alive by the skin of their teeth. Lilydale, their season is over. Now, Doncaster East, I'm told by a couple of reliable sources, probably didn't want Mooroolbark to win today because it was only a few weeks ago that the Mustangs got the better of them.
Well, they don't get a choice, do they? They have to play.
That's right.
Who they have to play, but it was a great game today, and Mooroolbark, I mean, they looked down and out a couple of times, but they just kept coming back. They fought hard. They had adversity with Talevsky and, of course, on the side early on, but they came back in a number of great performances led by James McManus. It was just off the planet today. Good. Just absolutely brilliant and a great victory for them.
Well, I thought he was magnificent. And, gee, Lilydale were pressing deep in that forward line in the final seconds. They were right on the goal line virtually and just couldn't get that winning kick forward.
Yeah, you've got to feel a bit sorry for them, and they had some great performance. I mean, Bernstein was absolutely sensational for them. Mitchener was good on the ruck all day, and they fought really hard. But it was one of those games that, when it got down to the end, it could have gone either way. And for Mooroolbark's credit, they were the ones that got over the line, so well played to them.
And it's surprising in a game that we couldn't find about goal kickers that you probably find that there were 5 good forwards on the ground. I thought, if you look at it, Lowe was a very good player for them. Preston was very good up forward, so both of them were good. And then the 3 Tolls have kicked in the Mooroolbark. I'm pretty sure that Beddoes has kicked 2.
He kicked 3.
3.
Yep.
Stevens has kicked 1.
Yeah, I've got all the goal kickers here, guys.
And Giorgio's kicked a couple.
Yep.
So they've kicked 6 goals between their 3 talls, which is exactly what you wanted out of your tall forwards. And you've got the other 2 key forwards for from Lilydale. So really the tall forwards were actually the dominant players in the forward line in both sides today.
Well, the weather wasn't as bad as we thought. We sort of got here and we thought it was going to be a game, as you say, for Crummers. It wasn't going to be a big day for the big forwards. But in the end, the sun came out, the ground dried up, and it was a pretty decent conditions.
It was, and if Lowe had scored that goal, it was very, very close. Kicking against the breeze, 45 metres out directly in front. It fell just a metre short. If that had gone through, Lilydale would have won it because there was only probably 45 seconds to go. So football is a game of centimetres, isn't it?
Yes.
It's like you said, it's like that, Damien. It's the fine line between pleasure and pain, I can tell you.
Well, that's right. You've experienced it.
You've done it once, you'll do it again.
Yeah, exactly. Look, not that I've actually played in finals football. In fact, I have played and I got annihilated by Paul Roos, but that's the story for another day. We'll give once again, we'll just quickly go through the scores. Mooroolbark have prevailed here 11-11-77, defeating Lilydale 11-9-75. Goal kickers for Mooroolbark, 3 to Beddoes, 2 each to Trent Giorgio and Jordan Roth, while singles to Craig Smith, Slattery, Downey and Stephens. Let's go down boundary. Ray Baird, you've got someone with us.
Yeah, we've got Paris Harvey, the victorious coach of the Mooroolbark Football Club. Great victory, Paris, the way your boys fought it out.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It was a great win, hard-fought game, and we knew Lilydale would throw everything at us, and throughout the year we've had absolutely cracking battles.
Now, the big boy, Koleski, pulled out this morning. He'll be fit for next week?
Yeah, he'll be right.
Yeah, now, Giorgio, look, he is James McManus. I mean, he is an absolute gem, isn't he? To have in the midfield there.
Yep, yeah, look, James has been fantastic. He's been fantastic all year. He's come back this year. He wasn't even going to play because of his knee, but he's actually pushed through and he's...
I think we've lost it, boys. Can you hear us?
Yeah, keep going, Ray.
Yeah, okay. And now Trent, I mentioned him, mate. Look, when he gets onto that football, he kicks at 70 metres. That's been a big bonus, particularly today in the last quarter there.
Oh, absolutely. Trent's what we call an A-grader. He's a clear match winner, so he's been fantastic for us this year. He's come back from, obviously, as you know, from knee reco from last year. So this year he's been fantastic, and he's, like I said, great player.
I thought that in the first quarter, I thought that they were on top of you around the contest and all that. But the way your guys come back for the next 3 quarters, I thought you certainly won the clearances.
Yeah, look, they created a lot of overrun from behind, which is a bit of much of their game style that they like to play, which is fantastic when they move the ball really with speed. So we just had to tighten up in a few areas and work for us.
Any questions from up there, boys?
Yeah, Paris, it's Davo here, mate. How are you?
Good.
I would imagine that you're used to these close finals situations. I thought, look, today we talked about how you were going to cover Talevski, and that was the big talking point. But I thought the 3 big men down the forward line, they've ended up kicking 6 goals between them. I thought that was a really good move because it kind of like off-put the Lilydale back half, and I thought that really worked for you today.
Yeah, I thought in conditions...
Might have to ask you guys to come closer. We're just dropping out, so we'll just go a couple of steps closer.
That's better.
Can you hear us now, boys?
Yes.
Yeah, get on the ground.
Get on the ground, all right.
That's better.
Okay.
I feel like I've got an entourage here.
Yeah. Fire away, boys.
Sorry, yeah. So, because the wind was blowing a gale down that way, we wanted to put a couple of big tools down near the goal square and see how they work. But, yeah, it worked well today, which is great.
And the other thing was we thought that, especially in that second quarter, you were able to get space between the middle of the ground and the 50-metre line, and you were able to transition the ball into space and kick the ball long. Was that another plan that you had in mind?
Yeah, we believe if we can transition the ball through that area of the ground, it's going to come in our favour. Sometimes you've got to use little 45s or link-up handball, and to the credit of the players, the last thing we said to them, we don't really want to be bombing it long and deep and thinking the wind's going to do it for us, so you actually got to transition through there, and if you can do that, it works in your favour.
Now, I suppose the last one from me is that you're certainly going to enjoy the fact that you get to play a final against Donny East. I know it's your last year for Mooroolbark, but that's something it's got a little bit of a romantic feel to it, coaching against them next week.
Oh, look, I got a lot of time and respect for a lot of people at the Doncaster East Football Club. They were fantastic to me. I mean, I coached there for 6 years, and they were the first club that I ever got the opportunity to coach football. I was an unknown, and they gave me that opportunity. So I've got a lot of respect for a lot of people at that football club, and I'm looking forward to which will be a cracking battle. I reckon it'll be fantastic. Like twice this year, they beat us. I mean, they beat us and we beat them. So it's no dissimilar to what we did against Lilydale, in the fact that they beat us, Lilydale, and we beat them. So we're looking forward to it.
Well, Paris, congratulations this afternoon. What a fantastic effort by Mooroolbark. Moving into the preliminary final next week. Good luck to you and your boys, and hopefully you can go that one step further and go into the grand final next week.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Paris Harvey there joining us from the Mooroolbark Victorious coach. I've got a final score from the Templestowe Heathmont score.
Yes.
And the Jets are into the preliminary final. They've defeated Templestowe by 4 points.
Oh, another tight one.
Templestowe 6-7-43 have gone down to Heathmont 6-11-43, and quickly Blackburn look like they're going to go into their home. They're 43 points up, 23 minutes into the last quarter.
Wow.
Ray, back down to you. Who have you got now?
Stevens down here, boys, and great final, Grattan. A terrific effort when you win by less than a goal, particularly in a final.
Yeah, definitely, especially that big kid. I mean, he's been telling everyone it's if he's out, there's no Mooroolbark. So we've obviously proved him wrong today. So we'll back up next week.
And with him out, you were thrown down forward there. Not unfamiliar to you. You played some forward down there when you were at South Croydon. So how did you feel filling the void with him not there?
Pretty much that was a plan all along, because Big Clokey, number 23, he's always gone up against Michino, who's a fair ruckman. So Clokey did really well, I thought, today, and was able to free others up to play their role as well.
Look, as I said to Paris, I thought that they got on top of you in that first quarter, particularly around the centre clearances. But for the next 3 quarters, I just thought that particularly James McManus, he was fantastic there. But you big guys getting the ball down to him as well.
Yeah, James McManus is probably going to win our BNF, or probably Ben Slattery. So I don't know whether you've spoken to either of those two already or not, but they've been sensational all year. And it's a credit to the club getting Jim back, because he's hard at it, and probably that's what we lacked last year in the 2 finals. Just that hard nutter over the ball, and he provides that inside 50 counter-attack as well.
Look, Davo was very impressed with the way you set up down forward. You at full forward, Trent Giorgio at that centre half forward. So, you certainly went in tall down forward without the big kid, but it certainly paid dividends.
Yeah, Trent Giorgio has been sensational since he's come in. It would have been great if he was available at the first half of the year, but obviously with his knee injury coming back, he's been great. And we can put him anywhere too. Put him centre half back. He goes in the middle on occasions as well, but he's got a massive left foot, and a credit to him to get back after such a long time away. Aaron Beddo's another one too.
Any questions up there, boys?
Yeah, Sticks, it's Brash, mate. How are you?
Hey, Brash, how you going, mate?
You're one of football's journeymen in the EFL. You can't help but feel that these finals, mate, they just keep churning along, don't they?
People keep on saying, enough's enough. My dad wants me to give it away, but I love playing. So I went down to watch South Croydon yesterday, and that was a fantastic win as well. So hopefully they get up next week as well.
Yeah, on your own form, mate. Are you happy with the way things have been going this season?
Yeah, not too bad. The body's feeling it. I think I've got a broken finger since round 9, but just keep tapping that up, and happy to keep going. So I haven't missed a game since I went to South Croydon in 09, Brash. So
that's pretty good, mate.
Hopefully keep that going. About 170, I think I'm at.
Gee, I'll tell you what, that's a fair effort, mate.
Yeah.
So in the contest today, where did you feel it was always going to go down to the wire? But was there a defining moment in that last quarter that you thought you had it?
Very similar, I thought, to the South Croydon game. You guys were there yesterday. I thought that. Paris will disagree. He reckons this is uphill where I'm standing at the moment, but I reckon downhill with the wind is always the way to go. And I just felt if we were 2 or 3 goals in it, 3/4 time, coming with the wind, I reckon we might have been a chance, and that's what happened in the end. So we were obviously lucky in the end to win by 2 points, but that last sort of 5 minutes down here was pretty tough. Going third man up doesn't help the ruckman either. You got to go again and again and again. So, yeah.
Well, Grattan, Stick, Stevens, thanks very much for joining us this afternoon, mate. Congratulations to yourself and the Mooroolbark Football Club, and you live to fight another day against Doncaster East next Saturday, but you're in a preliminary final.
All right, thanks, Brash. Good to talk to you, mate.
Yeah, good to talk to you. Grattan Stevens there.
Thanks, boys.
A fantastic effort by Mooroolbark this afternoon. Before we move to our next interview, let's have a look at the stats that matter with Grant Campbell and the Choose Tap stats.
Well, Lilydale won the clearances 44 to 39 and had 16 hit-outs advantage to 5. But Mooroolbark had 3 more kicks, 34 more handballs. They won the contested possessions 141 to 130. The uncontested possessions 140 to 114. Mooroolbark having 48 inside 50s, Lilydale 42. And they finished off in that final quarter with 7 intercept marks. So certainly Lilydale threw a lot at them and Mooroolbark held them off throughout the day.
Boundary side, Tim Fitzsimons.
Yeah, with James McManus, obviously yourself in the midfield, and the midfield itself really stood up when it counted in the last quarter, didn't it?
Yeah, we knew that they were a younger side, so going in today, we wanted to really set the tone physically. It came down to that last quarter. We could have gone anyone's way, and luckily we got the 4 points.
Yeah, they were pressing real hard there late, and there would have been about 40 players around that ball. Were you really impressed by the way you were able to just trap it in there and not let them get the free ball and get that late goal?
Yeah, we've had a couple games this year, especially the Upper Gully game recently, where we lost pretty much on the siren. So trained it at training, obviously, a few times, a few scenarios over the last fortnight, and this time managed to get the 4 points.
A few questions from the caravan, I'm sure.
Yeah, James, you've had a fantastic season. What have you put your form down to this year?
Probably dropped a few kilos, actually. I've changed my diet and lost about 3 or 4 kilos. So,
but you're on the Aikens diet, mate.
Nah, gone vegan actually. Yeah. So cut out meat and dairy. Dropped a few kegs and moving around a bit better.
One of the things I've noticed with your football in recent years, you definitely do play your better football when you're in and under and around that midfield. I gather when you went on your weight loss, I gather you were setting yourself to be a more key midfielder moving in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I pride myself on my in and under. I'm not the quickest bloke going around. My skills aren't the best, so I just try and get in there, get the hard ball and get it out to our blokes like Finlay and Musa, Slattery, those boys that are a bit quicker than me and can do a bit more damage with the footy.
It's always an intense rivalry between yourselves and Lilydale, and it's not far away. And always these contests, you always seem to split 1-1 during the season, don't you?
Yeah, it was hard to read what happened earlier in the year. Obviously, they beat us pretty comfortably at home, and then we beat them over at their home ground pretty comfortably, about around 11 or 12. So it was hard to take a reading on going into today. Teams changed. We lost Noonan, Dolan, a few others. They got Carswell in, and luckily they lost Harvey early as well, so that kind of played in our favour. But as I said, they're a good side, and we're lucky to get 4 points in the end.
James, well done on the win, mate. It was an absolutely fantastic performance. I got the feeling that you guys wanted to play a more open running style and get it wide, but Lilydale often they dragged you into the contest and they wanted to play a more contested style today.
Yeah, we trained it at training over the last couple of weeks as well. We know that they also like to at times take it quite wide, and they're quite small and nippy. So we did train that at training, especially from the fullback, the kick-ins, trying to overlap, transition and get some space over the top for Giorgio and Talevski, but obviously he was a late withdrawal today.
Well, James, just before you go, the players that you mentioned that didn't play today, is there a chance that they'll be able to force their way back into your lineup next week in the preliminary final? Yeah,
I think Talevski comes back in straight away. He was touch and go. Jeremy Newman's been close the last couple of weeks. He copped a head knock against Knox.
Yep.
So he's thereabouts as well. Kane Noonan started training last week, so once again he's not far off. So potentially 2 or 3 changes going into next week.
Well, the side can only be strengthened after today's cutthroat win, and once again congratulations to you this afternoon and the Mooroolbark Football Club on a great victory, and go and celebrate long and hard tonight, and then bring it all on and put it all on the line again next Saturday afternoon.
Absolutely. Thanks again, fellas.
James McManus there from the Mooroolbark Football Club, and it's a great time finals time. Well, quickly before we go, we're going to go through some awards. Damien, you got some scores going on there?
Yeah, final score from Jubilee Park. Blackburn easily over Doncaster in the end by 38 points, 107 to 69.
Yeah, that's a big win for Blackburn after Doncaster were basically held sway till half-time. Big second half by the Burners. Sets up a mouth-watering clash next Sunday against Baldwin at Ringwood. So it's going to be a great contest there. Let's get to the awards now before we come off air at 5 o'clock. And let's have a look at the Tobin Brothers... the Trojan Workhorse Award. It gets a $150 toolkit. And Brett Davidson, any Trojan-like performances that you think?
Well, I would have thought that probably McManus's performance was Trojan-like all day. He was under nearly every pack. He forced the football right from the first minute right through, and I thought he was a tremendous performance today.
What about your thoughts, Brett?
Well, I think McManus is probably going to get featured fairly well in the votes.
Yep.
So I thought we might go for someone else. And I sort of liked, who did I like? I thought Trent Giorgio. I think he came into the game again on that third quarter and he was good early. So Trent Giorgio for me.
Right about you, Damien Watson?
I actually liked Meta Musa. I thought he was very good. He wasn't. He was in and under. He won the loose ball. He created drive, but really, I know there's no majority voting here.
Yeah, there's no majority
here.
here.
Up to you. Up to you.
I'll go with what Brett Davison said. Who'd you pick, Brett?
Went for
McManus.
Yeah, McManus. James McManus.
Doesn't matter what he picked, you just go with him.
Well, he's a fellow special comments.
The reason I didn't go for McManus is because he's obviously going to win the...
Is he?
Do we?
Not obviously.
Not the way you guys are voting at the moment. Okay, Vibro goal of the day, and I've got someone wins a $50 voucher to Chris's...
Chris Goodlet's
deep gym, in Croydon. They get a deep tissue massage. I've got a nomination for Ben Slattery. Anyone want to put up a case against that?
I think it's pretty hard to go against that one. I think if Moose...
What do you reckon, Beto?
If Moose had gone through, it would have been
There was
goal
a
of the
couple
day.
of absolute rippers today, but that Slattery goal in the second term where he barged through the pack, broke through the centre square and thumped it from 55, I think that deserves the $50 deep tissue voucher. You need it when you roost one from that far away, Brash.
Most definitely. All right, guys, now we're down to the business end of the afternoon, the 3 2s and 1s, and Damien Watson, I'll let you kick it off this afternoon.
I gave one vote to Meta Musa. I thought he was fantastic through the corridor with his ball use. He was absolutely brilliant throughout the four quarters as well. I gave 2 votes. I thought Graddon Stevens was excellent. It wasn't necessarily his disposal, but I think his presence in the air, whether he went in the ruck or in the forward line, I thought that he imposed himself on the game, but I gave 3 votes to James McManus in the end. I thought he was a little terrier throughout the entire afternoon and my favourite player to watch from the day.
Brett Beston, where do you reckon your votes are going to head this afternoon?
Well, I gave 1 vote to Aaron Bedoes, obviously in the absence of Taliska. He stood up and kicked 3 really important goals. Trent Giorgio was good when it needed to, so I gave him 2 votes, and no real surprises. I've really given my game away with James McManus, clearly the best on ground, and he got my 3 votes today.
Brett Davidson, where are you heading?
I've given 1 to Giorgio because I thought... somebody needed to stand up and win the game, and I thought his influence actually won the game. I gave 2 votes to James McManus. I thought he was fantastic all day. But I can't believe no one's given him a vote yet, and I thought best man on the ground, I thought by a mile, was Corey Bernstein.
Yeah, fair enough.
I thought he dominated for 4 quarters of football. He drove the ball as a small player, probably would have had 8 or 9 inside 50s himself. And if they'd won the game...
They won the game, he would have got 3.
It would have been his game, and it's not like they've lost by 5 goals. They've lost by 2 points.
Soupy Campbell.
Well, I had exactly the same votes as Davo there. I went 1 Giorgio, 2 McManus, 3 Bernson, and I couldn't believe that 2 people didn't give him a vote. You're watching the wrong game of football. He's had over 40 touches today, so... It's under a goal. That's a disgrace for that.
You made your point.
We don't usually give best on to players in the losing team.
You didn't give him a vote, and he's had 40
I told
plus.
you Bernson was a superstar before the commentary today. So you've taken my lead. Tim, where are you heading, mate?
Yeah, I'm going 1 to Bedoes. I thought he was pretty outstanding, actually, up forward. He really provided a target up there and kicked important goals when he needed to. I gave 2 to... who am I looking at? James McManus. I thought he was outstanding for Mooroolbark, but I'm going Bernson as well. He had, as Soupy said, I reckon, had at least 40 touches today, without a doubt. He was undoubtedly, I reckon, the best player on the ground today.
All right, Ray, where are you heading?
Well, I'm the same. I got 1 to Giorgio, 2 to McManus, 3 to Bernstein.
Well, okay, then that means with 6, 8, 14 votes, BWS, James McManus gets our award this afternoon for the Tobin Brothers Tobin Brothers' best player on the ground.
Player on the day, and he gets a $50 Coles Myer voucher to spend whichever way he so pleases. He can buy something at Myer for his missus, or he can go down to Vinci Cellars or Liquorland and buy himself a few beverages. Anyway,
yeah,
fantastic effort by him today. James McManus, player of the day.
Burnson by 12. And Corey Burnson 12 votes, so really good from him too.
So is that McManus winning 2 awards today?
Yep.
That it is.
Well, that doesn't work. Burnston instantly gets the Trojan Workhorse award today. So I think that's only fair that the toolkit goes to him, $150 toolkit. Time to round up here from Tormore Reserve on what was an unbelievable day. Blackburn getting up against Doncaster. Heathmont getting up against Templestowe in what an absolute corker that was in a 2-point game out here today. And a magnificent victory by the Mooroolbark Football Club. They take on now Doncaster East in a preliminary final next weekend on Saturday. They only have the 6-day break, but after beating Doncaster East comfortably at Zerby's only 3 weeks ago, they're going to that game full of confidence. And well, Paris Harvey, he didn't really mince words, did he? But he said the kid will be back next week. He had a few back issues today. Although they played so well today without him in the side, you can't hold back a champion footballer like him and slot him back into the side. Time to thank everybody who's been part of today. Wayne Brasher, magnificent effort by you, mate. It's so great to have you back on the team after a month gallivanting around the Big Apple in New York. But magnificent EFL Sunday today, and look forward to having you back on the team next week, mate.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Damien Watson, 2 days in a row. Boundary yesterday, calling today. Great stuff, mate.
Thank you, BWS. Great game today.
Division 4 specialist Brett Beston. He loved coming out to Division 2 today, didn't you, Besto?
Yeah, it was good, actually. It was a terrific game. Really enjoyed it.
And Brett Davidson watching Division 2 football close. It's great stuff.
Oh, it's fantastic. And you need to be congratulated for getting Paris Harvey on radio, which I think is one of the hardest things to do. So congratulations, BWS, on that.
To Ray Baird and to Tim Fitzsimons on the boundary line. They did a fantastic job today. Of course, Ray stepping in for Alana at the death knock. And, of course, Grant Soupy Campbell, magnificent on the stats as always. Bruce Prest, the technician, he does it all. And Leroy, my only set of eyes. Fantastic stuff. See you next week.